But I've also built a way to consistently put out these newsletters every single month, right? And one of the big things that mattered to me was, first of all, our turnover went from hundreds of percent down to 8%. So we don't turn people over, right? And that's a big thing because our providers are also our customers, right? So this newsletter is about them. And I published the first one on the first and put it out. And this lady who works with us, her name is Damien Angel, right? She's 3 cleans in. She's middle-aged, you know, and she starts this new career with us. She's 3 cleans in. And she calls Shania, who's handling support, because Shania is building the training for the support agents in the Philippines. So she's kind of doing support while she does that. So she feels the call, and she's like, she sends the pictures in through our app. And all the floors have paint all over them, like major white paint blotches and some speckles. Now that's outside of the scope of what we do. But when in doubt, give your support team a shout. So she calls in, and Shania explains that she's not obligated to do this or clean that. And she said, and then so Damien says, I want to try. And Shania said, well, you know, if you feel you can do that when the constraints, and you know, she went through the thing, right? You know, you can damage the floors. And anyway, she took those darn floors, man, and you should have seen it. She took floors covered in paint, and her time was on point, and she made them sing, right? And it was just above and beyond. So then the second thing she'd done, which was really good, is that she called in, and she was struggling getting hard water stains off the neo-angle glass door, right, in a shower. And we all know that those showers should be removed from all houses and burned, right? And sometimes you have the plexiglass, and sometimes you have the embossed glass, right? And of course, we don't get a lot of hard water in this location. So like, we don't really carry a BioClean or whatever with us on a regular basis, right? So I was really happy because rather than kind of like, you know, work hard and give up, when in doubt, give your support team a shout. And Shania, when in doubt, gave her support team a shout. So Shania reached out to me and said, I can't get this fixed. So I said, now, well, look, Damien, I can't recommend this. And I don't want you to do this normally. I said, but like, tell me, so she sent the picture, and it was obviously, you know, she needed something acidic. And I said, well, tell me your toilet bowl cleaner. And she told me she had the Lysol. I knew that was the most acidic one. And I said, well, look, I don't recommend it. I went through the PPE. I said, but your Lysol toilet bowl cleaner, like, it's going to clean out. And here's how. So I explained her what to do, and she took a small sample, and of course it worked, and she made it sing, right? And I don't advocate ever using toilet bowl cleaner on shower glass, FYI, everybody. It was a very specific use case by an experienced and trained person, right? So here's the thing. So I just came up with this above and beyond award, and I put it in our newsletter. And what I did was that I just announced that Damien Angel is above and beyond winner. I put her before and afters, and I said she epitomized what we're about, and that we're trying to be the gold standard for house cleaning in Canada. And of course, we purchased her a brand new Shark Navigator Duo Clean. And of course, thanks to Amazon, that shows up right at her door in a couple of days. So Shania called, put her on speakerphone, and told her she was the award winner, and she friggin' cried. She cried. She was so happy to be recognized. And she said, it was tears of joy. She said, thank you. And Shania and I almost simultaneously said, no, thank you, Damien. Like, because of you, we have a job.
Yeah.
And so that one little newsletter is like these great things we've accomplished to create this brand we've created, and now we're bringing it across this entire country. It's not one thing. It's a whole bunch of little tiny things done consistently and done right. And so that newsletter not only signifies one of those things that are important to have a great experience for our professional house cleaners, but it also signifies that I've got most of the big things done because you push these small things aside to handle the big things. And when you can start knocking out those little things that are truly probably the most important, that's just a feeling of accomplishment I can't put into words. And I've tried to share that with family and friends, and they just don't get it. I don't know if you get it, Angela, or anyone else here gets it. But that's all I want to share.
I do, yeah. And I want to give you a great big hands up for that. That's fantastic. The day that you start putting in the automations that you've put in your business, Mark, is the day that your business starts to really take off. And if you are a small business and you are a small house cleaner and you have not used email automation yet, I want to encourage you to start collecting emails from your clients for this reason. We don't know. I mean, we're just watching Facebook right now rebrand itself. And Facebook so far has been free. I don't know if in the future they will charge for the ability to use Facebook like they have in the past, because it's been free. We've had our groups for free on Facebook. There's been so much that we've been able to do for free. And with a new name and a new restructuring could also come new pricing. And I'm completely expected that at some point, everything that we've done for free, we may be charged for. And it's also the same in us reaching out and making ads and making posts and going places on social media to our clients. And one of the things that Mark is talking about, and this is so important, if you start from every client and just say, hey, I would love to keep you on an email list, send out little tips every week on how we might be able to keep the house clean between cleanings, for example. And you start creating an email newsletter that goes out to all of your client base. When somebody cancels on you, they still get your email. And when somebody, says, hey, we can't have you for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever, and they go on a hiatus, they're still getting your email. And then if they forward it on to someone else, or it's easy to forward to a friend or a neighbor or whatever, and it has all your contact information in the bottom. One of the things that we've done really successfully, and this is to tag on to what Mark said, is when you are sending out a newsletter, at the bottom of the newsletter, it says, check out what our superstars are doing. That's all it says. We don't say buy from us, anything that we're not selling anything. Check out what our superstars are doing, and there's a link. And so people can click on that one link, and then it takes you to your tip sheet or whatever it is, your newsletter. But we love doing that for the fact that it does give a shout out to the people that are making progress within our business. And your newsletter is a great way to say, hey, we just hired somebody new. Welcome so-and-so to the team. Or we'd like to highlight one of our customers. We had this amazing customer that went above and beyond, and you can highlight stories from your customers where they helped somebody in the community or whatever. It doesn't even have to be about house cleaning. But what happens is
I'm going to take that idea. Thank you very much. That's a good idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. But what it does is it puts you back in front of your customer. Now you're not just any old house cleaner. You're a house cleaner with a real business, and you have a real newsletter. And I really recommend that if you do nothing else, that you start integrating with your customers via email, because I do not know what the future of social media looks like. And is it going to be free or is it going to be paid? But if you have all of your contacts via email, you can send your invoices, you can send ratings and reviews, you can do all that kind of stuff via email. And you can also just reach out and touch them and say, oh, hey, we haven't seen you in a long time. You guys took a small break when so-and-so moved from your family and you were going to get them off to school or whatever. Are you ready to start your business again? It's not a text. It's not a phone call. It's a link that says, hey, this is what's going on. Oh, by the way, here's, a few more tips, and here's what else is going on in our business. If nothing else, they can browse, they can get refamiliarized. They can, oh yeah. I did like that house thing. They were pretty cool.
So what happens, Angela, is people who are at the beginning get intimidated by that. So there's two things from someone who's been intimidated by it and is, I think, beginning to master it, is one, there's a plethora of different softwares available to assist you with your email marketing. And there's a lot of sharks in the water, and you can get paralysis analysis, right? Too many choices make it hard to make a choice, and also increases cognitive dissonance, which means when you do make a choice, you don't feel good about it, right? When there's only 2 pairs of jeans you could choose from, you were good. But now that you have 67 pairs of jeans to choose from, did you buy the right one, right? So Angela and I spoke recently in regards to social media marketing tools, and I settled on Cloud Campaign, Angela, by the way, and I'll talk with you that project and why I did, right? Because I think it's the best out there right now at the right price. But when it comes to email marketing, you got your constant contact, you got your MailChimp and all these platforms, but they can get really expensive if you build any sort of database, okay? And they're also very robust. They do a lot of things, build website landing pages, and you name it. And to be quite honest with you, it's too much for most users. So check out MailerLite. I have no affiliate link. Now, Angela will likely take this. She'll look it up. She'll put it in the Savvy group, and she can get herself an affiliate link. Check out MailerLite because it's really inexpensive at kind of a $99 a month for everything, and also in less. And it doesn't jack up as you build a 10, 20, 30,000 person email list. But also, it's not robust, and that's good, not bad. Now, secondly, I'll share what we're doing. We have a campaign called Win Free House Cleaning for a year. Now, we live in a place called Newfoundland, Labrador. We're kind of like, I don't know what, it's like you're Alaska in a way, and people are down to earth. Maybe like you're Delaware in size. It's hard to say, with Texas personality. So like, we're the kind of people where if you're moving, you can call your 6 friends and say, hey, give me a hand moving. I'm going to pick up a couple dozen beer and some chicken. And they show up, right? Now, if you were to call your 6 friends and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pay you $100 can help me move, they'd say, no, not in a million years. But if you buy me a $9 6-pack and a $2 box of chicken, I'll come. Because people perceive the value differently. Okay, so let's think about Win Free House Cleaning for a year. What am I really giving away? Once every 2 weeks, and if you don't use it, it expires, right? You can't take breaks from it. And it's $75. It's a basic $75 clean once every 2 weeks. I mean, the actual value it costs to us might be $1,500. But that's perceived by the public as being win-free house cleaning for a year. Now, who the heck doesn't want that? There's nobody who doesn't want that, right? Okay, now, so what happens is in order to, well, be eligible to win free house cleaning for a year, all you have to do is join our mail list and stay subscribed, thereby agreeing to receive bi-weekly promotions, nothing outside of that. That's it. And then at the end of the year, we drop from our list. And that's how we build our list. So if you're, say, Stephanie, you might have 87 people working with your team. I don't know, it might be just you. But say if you're our Stephanie at Canella and you're working in wherever America, and it's just you, well, you can build an email list just like anyone else, because win free house cleaning for a year might be, 2.5 hours labor once every 2 weeks, 26 times. And for that, you build a 6,000 person email list in the community that you can then market to, and they've agreed to stay as part of your email list. And if they never open it and all they see is Stephanie's cleaning in the header, that at least keeps you top of mind consciousness. So when a discussion comes up about house cleaning, they're like, well, Stephanie's cleaning. Geez, why did I think of her? Probably because she put Stephanie's cleaning in front of your inbox once every 2 weeks for the last 26 weeks. So my point being is, as well, giving away the proverbial farm, you can have a contest or give away something that helps you appropriately build an email list. So don't be afraid of it, is what I'm trying to get at.
One of the things that Mark didn't mention, and this is to tag on to what Mark said, when you choose an email software program, and like he said, there are a lot of plugins and there are a lot of programs that are available on the market, make sure you choose one that has tagging capabilities. And the tagging capabilities is you can label each different type of client a different way. So you can say this is just a lead, or this is a lead that entered a contest for the free cleaning Mark was talking about, or this is a regular customer, or this is a one-off customer, or this is a customer that hired us for special projects. And so you can tag them as, oh, this is a person that doesn't mind if we send somebody after 5 p.m. because they work the night shift. And so working late in the evenings is really great. You don't want to sandwich that in with all your regular customers, because when you hire somebody and they say, oh, I can only work weekends, then all of a sudden you do a search in your database, and those people that are tagged appropriately, you go, we have 4 customers right now that are looking for after 5 p.m. cleanings. And you assign them to that particular person that's now working the swing shift for house cleaning, or typically we don't work in the evenings as house cleaners. But if those people are gone to work in the evenings and their home is free during that time, you want to make sure that you have a quick way to tag them. And then also when you have a cancellation, and this is where it gets really good, you ask people as you go, hey, we just cleaned your house the one time and you didn't want to hire us on a regular basis. Is it okay if we stay in touch with you? And if we ever have a cancellation, we will call you and just give you first right of refusal. And they say, sure, that's okay. You can make one email, grab everybody with the cancellation tag and just say, hey, we had a cancellation tomorrow morning from 8 in the morning until 12. Do you need your house cleaned? We're going to be in this area. And then all of a sudden you hit that email and goes out to all those people simultaneously. And the first person that calls back, that's the person that gets the slot. And so by having a little email marketing program set up, it gives you the ability to not just stay in touch with your customers, but to use that to grow your business during slow times. Then also you use it for promotions. Like if you get, we're approaching in America, we're approaching Thanksgiving right now. And so we've had a special package on Thanksgiving where we come in, you stay with your family, eat your drinks, eat your desserts, watch the ball game or whatever. We'll zip in the back door. We'll clean up your Thanksgiving dinner. We'll package everything up and put it in the freezer, wipe your kitchen down, and then you're good to go. But you can send out an email that announces that to all of your customers simultaneously. And so it just makes marketing really, really easy, and it becomes really automated. And what's really cool about it is if you have time, most of us don't have time, but in a perfect world, here's what would happen. You would sit down and you would say, Thanksgiving is coming. We want to send this email out on the 13th of November. And so what happens then is you schedule it in advance so that at the 13th of November, you're not like, oh, I was going to send out an email. I got cleaning houses all day and the email never went out. It just goes out automatically. All of you guys got an email from me today at 1:30 p.m., right? I did not sit down at 1:30 p.m. and send you an email. That was written way in advance and it was scheduled in advance with the link for today's call. And then at 1:30 p.m., boom, it hits your email box. But nobody on my team was sending out emails at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. You see how that works? And you can do the same in your business as well.
That means that you are your own marketer.
I'll call you back.
Yeah.
I'm in the Zoom meet.
So right now, for example, okay, so we're at the point where we have a vice president of motivated house cleaners, and then I deal with her. So that division's handled. Now, we have motivated haircutters being launched across Canada the first of next month. We have pet groomers the month after that. There's a lot right now. Here's the thing. I've spent at least $60,000 on digital marketing firms and I have nothing to show for it. So I've decided that I'm going to learn this myself. I'm going to become as much of an expert as I can and figure out how I'm going to, either build an in-house marketing firm or outsource it appropriately. Okay. Now, in the meantime, now that we're launched and I'm executing a marketing plan, well, someone has to physically do it. That becomes problematic, right? So here's how I'm approaching it now. And even if you're solo or you and a team of two or wherever you are, this can be done. So I use time blocks. So right now I have my one thing, and my one thing is execute the marketing plan. So,
Let me interrupt you real quick, Mark. When you say time blocks, do you mean you blocked out your time, or is time blocks a piece of software?
I know time blocks is I use my Google Calendar, but I blocked out pieces of time.
Okay.
So like, for example, Angela, I get up 4 a.m. every day and I'm working out by 5. And then, I have my family time for that hour and I commute. My routines, I shared it with
And
you.
you're emailing me at 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30, yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So the thing is that, but so when I get to my office from 8 to 8:30, there's a particular thing I do. Okay. Now 8:30 is time block 1. That goes from 8:30 to 12:30. And that's 4 hours. And those 4 hours, I work on my one thing only, without any distractions. And that right now is executing the marketing plan, right? For example, we built a referral campaign that's world class. It's called Give 50, Get 50. And it's all automated. And every single automatic email that ever goes out to anybody now, on the bottom it says Give 50, Get 50, and they go refer. Takes them to the page. They type in someone's email address. That person books with us. That person gets $50 credits with us, and the other person gets $50 credits with us, all within our dashboard, right? And it makes financial sense in lots of ways. It's our Give 50, Get 50. And I'm going to spend $100 to get a new prospect anyways. I might as well give it to the people I care about the most, which is the customers, and not a marketing firm. Now once that's done, I get in my afternoon after my lunch, and I take a nap in my office usually. Then what I do is I work on, say, an hour of admin and whatever else. Now, I have a certain period of my time at the end of my day set aside where I am my own employee and my job is to be the social media manager. So what I do is, for example, we have a particular post now that we're putting out, and it's called our USP, our unique selling proposition, right? And each one highlights one of our amazing providers. And that post runs every single day, continuously, forever. So I build my calendar that 1 hour a day because that's all I got for it. And done is better than none.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're solo or you're as big as Angela's, you're doing what I'm doing, like you still have to set aside that and say, I can't do it all because I have to go clean. I have to do all these things, but done is better than none. And you put in at least that 1 hour, because what's going to happen is that those 1 hours layer on top of each other. And you're going to look up 6 months from now and say, man, I put in 67 hours into marketing and I have a bit of a marketing campaign. Now, the whole idea is that once we've got this done, well, then now I can bring in the person and I can manage that person. They kind of handle it type of thing, which is what Angela primarily does. But make no mistake, she still has her finger on the trigger, I would say, right? So my point is that like, it doesn't matter how big you are, like that's something you have to do. So like email marketing, which was the topic, mailer light, very, very simple, very non-robust. Tag your people. Yes, like that's a brilliant thing. Like for me right now, I can take anyone who's a one-time customer and I can click a button and write an email in 3 seconds, one-time customer, isn't it time you booked again? Now, I can schedule that out to go out whenever I want. And that's what's called building a calendar, which means you think ahead and think about when you want to send out what you're sending out.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Based on what you just said, Mark, here's something that I want all of you to be aware of if you haven't used it already. There is a plugin, or it's a piece of software, or it's an app, or I don't know exactly what it is. I'll make a note, but it's called Text Expander. And here's how it works. The Text Expander is based on 3 codes. And the 3 codes are any 3 letters or any 3 characters that you give it. But what happens is if you have a regular recurring piece of content that you do over and over and over again, Mark just said you send a quick email to someone that says, hey, we had a cancellation. Would you like to fill that slot? That's going to be something that you're going to repeat over and over and over and over again over the next 30 years in your business. So there's no sense to keep typing that over and over and over again every time you have a cancellation. So you open up the text expander and you say cancellation. That's what you're going to call it. And then you give it 3 letters like CAN, which is the first 3 letters of the word cancellation. Then what happens, and I usually put a % sign in front of the can because I don't usually type % signs in. And so it doesn't trigger anything else. But anytime, anywhere that I have a cancellation, whether I'm on social media, I'm on text, I'm on instant message, I'm on my smartphone, I'm texting someone. If I'm on an email, it doesn't matter what platform I'm on, I'm linked into my text expander. So I say, oh, I have a cancellation, and I type in %CAN, and it types out the whole little email. And there's a little spot there where I type in tomorrow's date and tomorrow's time. And immediately there's my text, boom, just like that. And then I click who it goes to by the tag and send. So you don't have to keep retyping it over and over and over again. Here's where it gets really good. I now have a team of 28 people, and we don't have to stop and say, well, did you send an email to so-and-so? And what did it say? And what language did you use? And did you ask for this particular information or whatever? You don't have to do any of that. You do a search for, I'm looking for someone missing a photo. I need a photo from this person, missing photo. And all of a sudden the text thing pops up and you go, oh, the code is %PHO for photo or whatever it is. I'm just making this up. But then what happens is anyone on our team can type in that little text code, boom, it pops up the email, or it pops up the snippet, or it pops up the text, or it pops up whatever. You hit the person's name and you hit send, and boom. It sounds just like everyone on our team said the exact same words the exact same way. And it makes it brilliant as far as like benchmarking your entire process, where you don't have to stop and recreate it every time. I'm so tired right now. I can't remember, what was I supposed to say? What was I supposed to add in that email? You don't have any of that. All you got to do is look up the 3-digit code, type in the 3-digit code, boom, and off you go. It's been one of the most brilliant, fascinating, time-saving systems that we use in our business. And I would be lying if I said I use it less than 100 times a day. At least 100 times a day, I use the text expander for something in my business.
So the question
And if I
is
ever find myself in a situation where I have to stop and type a letter from scratch, I ask myself this question: will I ever have to type this again? Yes, I will. Okay, then listen, let's type the text expander right now. This becomes the text expander template right now. And then if I ever come back and someone says something like, we tried to reach you, but we're unable to get in touch with you or whatever, here's my response. Boom, right there. 3 letters, boom, here it is. Anyway, so I had to share that.
When you have people that are at different stages of the game, right, avoiding overwhelm is really hard. Now, our industry traditionally, the house cleaning industry, is an ease of entry business, right? 2 maids and a mop. And ease of entry business means that sometimes people get into it that may not have the same business savvy, may not have the same educational and technical background. And sometimes they get in, and now that our industry we're coming of age, even though we're a timeless industry, we're coming of age, which means that we're starting to get human resource practices and policies that are traditionally been around in other industries for a long time. We're starting to get technological advancements that you wouldn't see in other industries, right? People are starting to realize that our industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there's lots of SaaS software as a service being built. And that means that a very small solo operation can have the ability to do things just like a big operation. So that's great, right? One of the challenges, though, is that it can be really overwhelming because there's so many things to do and people get stuck. And I know some people from all over America, and we chat sometimes, and my God, they're planning out how they're going to do this, and this. And it's like they're still solo cleaning houses. And it's like, yeah, you're right. You need to think about this. But like, how do people keep it simple when they're at the beginning, right? And not get overwhelmed by all this and go madly off in all directions. And that's really important, right? And it's really important just to say to yourself, hey, I need an email system. What is the simplest and least expensive system out there? Done is better than none. Set aside 1 hour a week if that's all you got. If you're in my situation, 1 hour a day, and sit down and say, I'm going to work on composing an email today to my customers. Okay, that's done. And over time, you may have 17 emails composed, and now you can put it in a calendar. But don't get stressed out. Just do it anyway. Because believe it or not, if you execute, say, for example, sending out an email to your customers, even infrequently, and even if it's not, particularly beautiful, trust me, you're ahead of the pack because 99% of the people out there aren't. And let me tell you, like I have a brother who manages a large waste management company. It does owned by private equity. It does billions. Okay. And when he talks about what I do in turning my business, he says, Mark, it's remarkable. He said, we don't do any of this. You think that our big company got their Angela doesn't like cursing, got their stuff together, right? Well, we don't. So we assume that our competitors who look on the outside to be more sophisticated than us got their stuff together. Most of them don't. And done is better than none. So like just a simple email marketing program and send out one email a month to your customer, say, hey, just wanted to say hi. Some good things happened this month. We now can do this. We've added 2 new team members. And by the way, one of our customers, Barbara, yeah, she volunteers at the SPCA and I just think she's amazing. I wanted to say how much I like Barbara. Like that can be it.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is a start. And the biggest thing that I learned as a perfectionist is done is better than none.
Yeah. Does anyone, I would like to open this up for a second. Does anyone have any questions on what we've covered so far? Or you have any ideas or suggestions or anything you would like to add? Yes, Satora.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you? So
Good.
thank you, Mark. Thank you, Angela. Great content here. So I don't have a cleaning business yet. And I don't clean houses myself. I do clean my own house, and I think I do a great job. As a new person, well, I'm a nurse practitioner and I work in surgery. But having, a private business is something that was always my dream, and I'm trying to launch that. And as Mark said, sometimes it's a little overwhelming. So I recently joined Angela's program, and I'm trying to read up and look up things, on my free time. And I'm like, okay, when I'm going to be 100% ready to go and clean my first house. Because I think, as a business owner, I think I have to start cleaning myself at least, for months, just to kind of understand what my employees will be doing and what actually is required, and maybe to set up a standard myself, and that way they'll follow my standard, and maybe I'll get customers first that way by presenting myself. So I'm trying to find at the time saying, okay, when I'm going to be 100% ready to go and clean the house, when I'm going to know how to clean everything, and I don't know, and time is going and I'm like, okay, I'm not ready yet. I think I don't have that squeegee that Angela was telling, I need to have it, or I don't have, different colored pattern rugs that I need, what if, and then, and so I have not opened my website. I have not opened my LLC, and I don't know where to start. Like Mark was saying, sometimes it can be overwhelming. And is there, what is the first step you do? Do you open LLC first? Do you find a website company that opens your website? How do you get clients?
I love those questions. And the first thing that I want to suggest is every house cleaner that's ever been on the face of the planet started out exactly where you are. And they felt like, oh no, I don't know it all yet. Okay, well, they didn't know it all yet. And after 30 years in the business, I'll tell you, I'm still learning stuff every day. So if I would have waited until I knew it all, I wouldn't have started yet. Okay, so that said, you have to start. So you don't need an LLC today. You don't need a business bank account today. You don't need an email marketing program today. You don't need to wrap your cars today. You don't need a business card today. What you need today is you need to get out and go clean houses. You need to get out there and go clean houses. And then what happens is this: when you get out to clean a house, you're going to go, oh my goodness, I used the wrong thing. And I don't mean ruin somebody's stuff. I don't want you to go experimenting. But if you use the wrong thing and it left streaks, you're going to say that was the wrong thing, it left streaks. So now you're going to use something different, and you're going to improve. Your goal is to improve every single clean from the last clean that you just did. And so if you get there and you're like, oh, I started out with this much in my spray bottle and I ran out too soon. What that will teach you is I got to make sure my bottles are filled all the way full before I go out to do a clean because I'm going to use all of it on this job or whatever it is. There'll be little tiny micro tweaks that you're going to make at every single job. And I want to give you permission to fail. Let me repeat that. I want to give you permission to fail. Today in my business, we've been in business for 30 years, okay? Today in my business, I had a team staff meeting and somebody said, we're not ready for this. And I said, that's exactly why we're going to release it right now. And they said, but we're not ready. And I said, it will never be ready. But we don't know what's going to malfunction until we get it out there. Once we get it out there, we'll start getting feedback that says, tweak this. I tried this and it didn't quite work. And we'll say, okay, and we'll fix it. We don't know what to fix until we get out there. Once we get out there and we try something, we're going to go, wow, I was too slow at cleaning, or wow, I had the wrong equipment, or wow, my vacuum was too heavy, right? We've all been there. We've all done this kind of stuff, but you will never know that sitting at home, reading, even a training on how to do something. And if you sit there and wait until you are ready, you will never have a business. And it's called paralysis by analysis. And that means you're sitting there and you're paralyzed by trying to figure it all out and wanting it to be perfect. It really hit home with me when I had not created a website for my business. And I was several years into the business. And everybody was now starting to have websites in house cleaning. And somebody asked me, why don't you have a website? I said, oh, it's just not ready. And they said, so if it's not ready and you're not willing to put it out there, even if it's like Mark says, done is better than, what did you say? Done is better than none.
None is better than none.
So what happened is they said, if you don't have a website, even if it's a bad website, the people that are looking for house cleaners online are going to find your competitors that do have a crappy website because their crappy website is better than the one you don't have. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I raced home that day and I made a crappy website because at least my crappy website can now compete with their crappy website, right? So you have to get started, okay? You just have to get started. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
If you ever saw Motivated Maids Inc. website, it is absolute utter dribble. It's garbage. I started, I made $90 in June of 2016. I had no license, no insurance. My car was impounded 9 months. I had $50,000 in fines. The police basically would wait for me to pull out of my driveway. I bummed rides to do walkthroughs. Then if I got the job, I bummed a ride to go clean the house. And the owner said, if I got the job, that I would pay back the person I was bumming the rides off of. In November of 2019, in this little city with access to about 70,000 people, all residential, the average clean $120 a clean. I did $1.7 million in residential sales in 4 years, okay? Off of that crappy website. So I know Eloisa wants to join in on this because I can see, but so here's what I say to you. Look, what I did was this. I wrote stages. Keep it simple. Can I write a business plan? Hell yeah, I went to business school and graduated. Second highest marks. You know, can I do all the fancy stuff? Sure. Didn't need to do any of that. Piece of paper, the book you got from Staples. I wrote destinations. So the first destination I wrote was where I was going to end up. Canada's most recognized, successful residential cleaning brand. That's where I was going to end up. Okay. Where am I today? Well, I'm coming off welfare and I don't have a car. Okay. So how am I? What's first? Well, I'm gonna clean houses until I don't have to, and then once I got enough business, I'm gonna get an assistant to work alongside of me. I'm gonna take my 100% bookings and hand 50 over to the assistant, and then I'm gonna build my bookings up to another 100, and hopefully build his or hers up, and then I'm gonna add another assistant, and then eventually I'll be a manager that works, and then you know I'll have to go out in the field every now and then, right? When things go wrong, which they will, and nobody is immune. They will, right? And then you know you get to destinations. So like just keep it simple, man. Write some destinations. Now look, our professional house cleaners in our network, they self-train. We have an online training program that's world-class. When they feel that they are ready, they go out and they start in their own home. What a great place to start. Then what they do is they approach a family or a friend and they say, hey, would you mind if I cleaned your house? And trust me, everyone's going to say yes, right? And you just keep cleaning people's houses, friends and family for free on your free time until you start to feel comfortable.
I want to stop right there where Mark is, and I want to agree with what Mark is saying until the last statement that he said. He said, "Clean the house for free." I don't want you to clean anyone's house for free. And here's the reason why, not to knock Mark, because everything Mark said until that one exact moment was spot on. I don't want you to clean the house for free because I don't want you to undervalue your cleaning. And so in the house cleaning industry, and if you've read any of the books that I read and you've watched any of our YouTube videos, we start you out at a base fee. That's $25 and it's now $35 per hour. It was $25 until COVID. COVID raised all the base pricing to $35 an hour. So do not charge less than $35 an hour in any country, in any city, in anywhere that you are, okay? $35 an hour is base pay, and that's actually rock bottom. Okay, that's rock bottom. That's the lowest you're ever going to charge. What that's going to do is this. You're saying, I'm starting out in the cleaning business. I have introductory pricing. I'm looking to practice, and I would like to come clean your house, and it's only $35 an hour. Okay, what that's going to do is open a lot of doors for you where people will say, well, she's not $65 an hour. She's only $35 an hour. And what they're going to do is they're going to forgive you. If you miss behind a door or you leave a hair on the floor or whatever, that you're still learning the process, they're going to forgive you, but at least you have a little bit of money coming in. When you get a little bit of money coming in, we call it the Band-Aid approach. That's going to stop the bill collectors from calling and saying, hey, you know, you got a phone bill that's due in 2 days, or we cut off your phone or whatever, because it's easy for lots of bills to start coming in when you run a business. This is going to stop the bleeding and it will give you little bits of money to start paying everything back. But what happens is this, you start to say, wait a second, and it changes something in your mind when you charge for house cleaning. Instead of saying, I'm going to do this for free, you say, wait a minute, my time's worth $35 an hour. And then you start looking at every hour of your day being worth $35 an hour. And all of a sudden that starts changing the way that you think about your time. And here's the reason why. If your time is worth $35 an hour, what are you doing right now? Are you squirreling away your time when you could be doing something of a higher value? Now, Mark's talking about creating, ad campaigns and marketing campaigns and stuff that will automate his business. That's stuff that you pay people big, big, big money for. And so what he's saying is my time is worth more than whatever the money is that I was squirreling away, just wasting my time. I'm going to invest in myself and I'm going to build this out for my business so I can template it and I can outsource it and all these other things. But you start thinking like a business owner and you start saying, well, wait a second, if this project is only a $10 project, but my time is worth $35 an hour, I should be outsourcing this project to someone else. Someone else can go for $10 an hour and pick up my mail from the post office. Someone for $10 an hour can go pick up my groceries. Someone for $20 an hour can go mow my yard. Right? And you start outsourcing all the other tasks in your life because now your time is worth $35 an hour. Does that make sense? So I want you to charge for every hour that you work because your time is worth it and you are worth it. But this is an introductory price. And please memorize these words. Every house that you go into at $35 an hour, this is an introductory price. Because in just a minute, when your business takes off, you're going to start changing and charging by the job. And now you are going to charge them the $60 an hour or whatever your price went up to. It's going to be more money. And so the introductory price is gone, but that will get you in the door and it will get you practice in the beginning. That's going to get your business up and running. And then as you learn, oh, we did that wrong. Oh, we didn't spend free. Yeah. And I know the way that it came out. That's why I stopped you right there. I
meant just when you're like practicing at home or your sister's house or your brother's house, it's literally, hey, I'm gonna come over and practice some skills. It's kind of more like putting up 10 foul shots in the driveway. But I would never, ever in a million years go out and actually clean a stranger's house. I'm just talking about those first 2 or 3 practice sessions when you're just trying to learn the ropes in your own house. And, like my brother, for example, had an extravagant house and I was living in a fifth wheel with a flea-ridden cat in a suitcase next to my dad's. It was humiliating. I had to practice in Roy's house. So I done a couple things in his house.
I want to add again to what Mark is saying. If you go clean for family and friends, there's a part of you, I promise this will happen. There's a part of you that will say, well, since you are my family, and the only exception is your parents. I do want you to clean your parents' house for free, but anyone else, sisters, siblings, children, relatives, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, any relatives at all, you charge your introductory fee. Okay. It does not matter who they are for this reason, all of a sudden they will start seeing you as a business. If you give them the cleaning for free, they will never respect your business. They will waste your time every time you come over, and they won't take advantage of you. Oh no, if I invite Gene to come over to my house, I'm going to have to pay him because he's not going to clean my house for free, right? And so they start looking at you at a real business. What happens is they'll start referring you as a real business as well. So even if it's your family, and even if you love the guts out of them, I want you to charge your family for your cleaning. You understand me? Okay, good. No giveaways except for your parents. And that's because they gave you life and they brought you onto this planet. You owe it to your parents to clean their house. You clean their house for free.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Good luck.
Does anyone else have any questions on that before we move on?
Yes.
Go ahead. Hi there, Mary. Good to see you.
Hi. Good to see you too. Please, I want to ask, how are you charging people? How they paying you? Are you receiving check or something they use it to pay you with?
So I don't like check or cash. And that used to be how we only accepted payments when I started my business. That was it. And then somewhere about 15 years in, Square came out with this little tiny card reader that slid right into your smartphone. And you could just swipe somebody's credit card right there on your smartphone and take credit cards. Okay, so.
Okay, I have this. I have.
There you go.
Is it okay for me to have it?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. You're going to start taking credit cards.
I think it's wrong for me why I get this. Like, I kind of confused. So
yeah,
that's why I want to show you if this is okay for me to use it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Start taking credit cards immediately for this reason. When somebody pays a credit card, they often will spend far more money on a credit card than they will if they're paying cash. And so if you have the ability, and I know lots of programs do, where when they're taking a credit card, they can also leave a tip. If that pops up on their screen, oftentimes they'll leave a tip because they're paying with a credit card. Credit card is different than if they're paying cash. Paying cash means like, oh, I don't have any change on me. I'll have to get up.
I was thinking this is useless.
No,
I was thinking this is useless. Why am I having this? That make me confused. That's why I want to ask if it's okay for me to use this.
Yes, any smartphone will allow it. And also, like if you have PayPal, you have Venmo, you have Cash App. There are so many different apps. Right now, I have independent contractors that work for me, and they only accept Cash App. I mean, okay, I would rather use direct deposit or whatever, but okay. So I log into my Cash App and I just send them the money. And so however you have, but do it online. Don't do cash and don't do checks, because you have to take the checks to the bank and you have to deposit them, or you have to scan them and take pictures and all that stuff. In cash, you cannot track. Okay, let me repeat this. Cash, you cannot track. And it makes it very hard, because if somebody doesn't have cash and they owe you $130 and they only have 20s, they're going to give you 120 and say, I owe you 10. Then you come back next time and they're going to go, no, I paid you. It's cash. How do you track it? Right.
Yeah.
And so we don't do cash. We don't do cash at all. It's just, don't go to the bank. Don't put yourself out. Just Cash App the money to me, or just Venmo the money to me. Just PayPal the money to me. There's so many ways to get you the money, but do it online. And then you have a record online of what happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And one more thing, like I want to ask you about the badge. I think I signed in, I have my insurance ready now.
Awesome.
So yeah, I have my insurance. I'm trying to sign. Is it verify me?
Verifymyrecords.com.
But I think I didn't add any passport picture, nothing. So that made me.
Yeah, so what that is this. Verifymyrecords.com is your ID badge that we're issuing to all of the Savvy Cleaner trained employees and business owners. What it does is this. It connects to a page that we are supplying all of your training and certification. So if you go to a customer's house and you're going to wear your photo ID badge, you can get started with nothing more than just a photo, nothing else, just a photo. But you can't have an ID badge, a photo ID badge with no photo. You've got to have a photo. But what happens when you have the photo and you sign up with the form, and you can just go to verifymyrecords.com, go to the bottom and click on the green button, sign up today. What that does is this, it's going to create a new page for you. And we will supply all of your training and certification. So it will start showing up in your record. There'll be a picture of you and a picture of your company logo. If you have a company logo, great, supply it to us. If you don't, that's fine. But what happens is when a customer clicks on that logo, it goes back to your website. But here's the cool part. There's also a custom QR code that is assigned to you and that page. So what happens is we want you to use that custom QR code on your website and on your worksheets and on your business card and on your flyers and everywhere you do business. We want that custom code for this reason. Customers are getting to the point where they really, really want to verify who's in their home. And so if they're not at home, but let's say that they went to Mark's website, Mark has 500 people that work for his company. He says, I'm going to send Shania over to your house. What happens is I'm on Mark's website and there's a custom QR code for Shania and she's got the Verify My Records page. They can scan that QR code with their smartphone and it takes them to Shania's page. Here's a picture of Shania. Here's a picture of the company that says Motivated Maids. So we know that she's with the company he says she is. If I'm not at home when Shania shows up at my house and she goes walking up and my Ring doorbell with the camera picks it up, I'm going to look at that and go, oh, yeah, that's Shania. Sure. She's the person that's authorized to be in my house, right? So it verifies that she's in, that the right person that came. Here's where it gets really cool as a business owner. We've all run the risk of saying, oh no, my employees are going to steal my business and my customers and they're going to go somewhere else, right? When the customer, any customer anywhere scans their badge, it leads back to your company. And they're going to go, wait a second, Shania, you're with, Happy House Cleaning. We thought you were with Motivated Maids. Your badge here says you're with Motivated Maids. What's up? Right? And it keeps people from trying to trick homeowners what company they work for. Also, what's cool about this is if you have a certificate of insurance, and this is where it gets really cool.
Yeah.
If Shania comes to my house and I say, hey, are you insured? And she says, yeah. Can you prove it? Well, in order for her to be able to prove it, she has to call her insurance company and she has to say, will you let Angela Brown be an authorized person on my account so that she can have a conversation with you to verify that I am in fact insured? So she has to make a call to the insurance company. Then she has to call me and say, my insurance company is expecting a phone call from you. Then I can call the insurance company and I can say, it's just a hassle, okay? So what you do is you call your insurance company and you say, I don't want all of my customers to have to call you to verify my insurance. Please send a certificate of insurance to verify my records. So the certificate of Verify My Records they get your insurance certificate from your insurance company. They put it in a private vault and they're not letting it out. Okay. It's got private information on there. And we do not want your customers to know how much of a policy you have. Right. Okay. So there's going to be a little record that says Mary is verified. Right. She has an insurance policy that is good through March 22nd of 2023. That's it. So when they scan your badge, they go, oh, yes, Mary's verified. She's been verified by Verify My Records. They don't need to make that phone call. Verify My Records has already verified with your insurance company. And so you just save 30 calls back and forth to your insurance company, back and forth to your customer. Do you see where you get where I'm going? It saves a lot of time. Okay, so if you don't have insurance, it will say pending verification. Okay.
Oh, I have it, but I don't know how to hide it.
Okay, so all you do, call your insurance company and just say, send a COI. COI means Certificate of Insurance. Yeah. Send a COI to Verify My Records. And then for free, it's part of your Savvy Cleaner package. They will send you your custom ID badge. And we've been shipping them out like crazy from Savvy Cleaner because they come to us from Verify My Records. So we've been sending them out like crazy, but here's what's cool about it. Any other certifications you want to add, it's a one-time document fee that you supply to Verify My Records. Okay, it's $10 per document. So let's say, and I'm not promoting it, but let's say that your customers are asking you, are you vaccinated? And you want to say, yes, I'm vaccinated. Then you would take your certificate of vaccination. You would send that to Verify My Records. You pay the one-time, it's a lifetime fee, a one-time, once they verify it, it's a one-time fee that goes to Verify My Records. And now that shows up on your Verify My Records page. So now you go to a customer's house, they scan your badge, and here's what's cool. They see that you've been in Toastmasters, you're a member of the Better Business Bureau, you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, you're a member of IICRC, you got certified through ISSA, you're a member of ARCSI, and you have all of your certifications on this one Verify My Records page. All of your Savvy Cleaner training and certifications, anything that you want to add, once you add it, it's a one-time $10 documentation fee, and they will verify that is true. If the information is true, they will post it. If it is not true and it is a made-up certificate that you made up on your home computer and it cannot be verified, you'll lose your $10. So don't try to spoof them because you will lose your $10. But what's
How
cool
is
is
it
this.
monetized, Angela? So like, for example, so first, like, so this is really good that you brought this up because like, here's the thing, right? So like, I think I pay Canadian, our dollar is not worth anything anymore. For me to buy one of your dollars, I pay $1.31.
Right,
So
right.
that sucks. So Angela's $59.99 a month, ain't $59.99 a month for me. It's $85.99.
It's
Now,
not
I'm in-
$59.95 anymore. It's gone up to $69.99 a month.
So it's cost me $100 a month. Now, the thing is that means that I paid $1,200 this year for Angela because we're in our 1-year anniversary. Now, you know, I haven't gone through all the courses, blah, 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 blah. And someone could argue that, why are you paying this monthly fee, man? You know, why are you paying it? Well, you think about the information I just learned. Now, one of the things we're doing on our website is that we're putting a page for every single professional house cleaner in our network. And currently, when you book with us, you can see that Terrence has a 4.87 out of 5 rating and has done 875 cleans. Like it's right there. Now, thanks to this piece of information about Verify My Records that Angela's just shared with me, I can get this software, I can put it on my website, and then when people go and look and click on to see this provider, they can go to Verify My Records, whatever way it's going to work out, and see that, you know, this person carries their COI, blah, 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 blah. So like that one little piece of information that Angela's given me, and I'll work out the details and see how it really works, but it'll all work. That one little piece of information Angela's provided is worth so much more than $1,200. So like if I just never took part in anything Angela does, hopped in here and done 1-hour session, and I got one piece of information that's going to make me a lot of money.
So
like,
Mark,
that's just the value of this program.
Mark, let me stop you right there. Instead of creating an individual page for every house cleaner that you work with, have every house cleaner that you work with sign up at housecleaning360.com because it's search engine optimized by the search engines. They can list their business for free. It gives them a web page for a fee. They can pay to add like videos and before and after pictures and all that other stuff. You can pay to upgrade your membership, but it's dynamically linked into an ads program. So it's got like ads and coupons and all kinds of stuff that you can integrate with that. It's already integrated, it's already built. And what's really cool, and we're 2 or 3 days away from announcing this. I'm gonna give you guys a snippet in advance. House Cleaning 360 is also partnering with Verify My Records. So when you go to House Cleaning 360, and it is a search directory, okay? It's like Angie's List or Home Advisor, but they don't charge you for the leads. It's brilliant. So instead of recreating a web page for everybody, they can already create their own web page in House Cleaning 360 and just link it to whatever you're doing. And that way it'll have the Verify My Records, it will have the House Cleaning 360, it's got all the search features, it's got the coupons, it's got the ads, it's everything.
Are you talking about our employees?
Yes, your employees can do it as well. Yes, this is perfect for employees. Let's say that you have 5 employees. Every one of your employees that's in the program can have a Verify My Records page. And if you are not part of the Savvy Cleaner program, there is a one-time, there's an annual membership fee. And I forget what the annual membership fee is. I think it's $79.95 per person, which gives them the Verify My Records membership for the entire year per person. And if you are a member of Savvy Cleaner, like let's say that you hear about this from me, we can offer you a $30 off coupon. And right now it's fall 30, like FALL, fall 30. That gives you $30 off that $79 fee. So if you have somebody that you know, let's say you have a landscaper friend that wants the same Verify My Records program with the ID badge, he can join. And he's not going to be a member of Savvy Cleaner. He's not going to go through the Savvy Cleaner program, but he will have the membership fee, which I think with the $30 off, it drops it down to like $49.95 a year, which is a heck of a deal. And it's literally a website. And here's the cool part. Here's the best part about it altogether. And I'm really excited about this. At the bottom of your Verify My Records page is a place where you can also get ratings and reviews. It's already set up for you to get ratings and reviews. So when you go to a customer's house and the customer scans your badge, They can see that this is Eloisa. This is the company that she's with. This is her certificate of insurance or whatever. And it just says pending and verified, right? It doesn't show the actual certificate of insurance. Then it shows all the Savvy Cleaner training that she's been through. They go through all of her stuff, Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau, whatever. Then they get to the bottom and now they can leave a rating and review. How do they feel about you now? They just went through all your credentials. Now, when they leave you a rating and review, it goes back to the, what's his name? It's the guy that wrote the book Principles, Ray Dalio. He says it's the moment before they go to do something, when the moment before you close a sale, the last thing they see, it's that moment where you make a really good feeling before someone has to make a decision. This is the moment before. They go through all your credentials. Now they're going to leave you a rating and review. And they're like, wait a second, this person is trained. This person is insured. This person is a member of the Chamber of Commerce. This person does this annual outreach where they're with what is it, Cleaning for a Reason. They go through all this stuff. Now they're going to leave you a rating and review. They feel really good about you right now. They feel like they just made a fantastic business decision. And so it's just kind of like it taints their view of you in a really positive light before they leave you a rating and review. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. It's pretty impressive.
Thank you,
That's
Angela.
a tidbit, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Anyway.
Should be. It's amazing.
So please, how can I send my photo ID to verify my record?
Okay, so go to verifymyrecords.com. And if you scroll all the way down to the page, there's a green button. And because you're a member of Savvy Cleaner, you're going to fill out that form. And that form doesn't cost you anything for your photo, for your logo, for your certificate of insurance, and any of your Savvy Cleaner training. That's all free. If you want to add other third-party certifications like the Chamber of Commerce, that's what you pay for. Other than that, everything else is included. And it will say like, add your picture. And so you're going to click on it. Take a selfie of you if you want. Like, make sure that it's from your shoulders on up, because only your shoulders and your head are going to be in the picture. But if it has like weird stuff in the background, like I do, they'll remove the background. So it will just be your face, so that will go nicely on a photo ID badge.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they cannot send you a photo ID badge without your photo, because they can't verify that it's you. They don't know who you are. So you must send a photo to activate it. Yes, Gloria, you have a question.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Hi, and how are you? Glad that you're here.
Hi there. Hi. I wanted to ask a question about House Call Pro 360, or no, House Call Pro, I think is what it's called, right?
Okay, so House Call Pro is different from House Cleaning 360.
Yeah, but they keep calling me, wanting me to do it. Yeah, it's like $69 a month or something like that. And I just feel like I'm getting overwhelmed with too much that, going so fast. And I am definitely not charging enough money for my houses. I've been doing this for 17 years, solo cleaner, and I'm probably making anywhere from 25 to 35 an hour. Like the house I'm leaving now, I'm only making 25 an hour here. So I definitely got to do some arranging on some pricing. So how do you, what are your suggestions on that? But joining the house call, the House Pro 360, I don't think that I should jump into that right now, because I'm going through all this other stuff, trying to learn everything. So basically, even though I've been cleaning for all these years, it's like, I'm just new.
Okay, so let me back up. House Call Pro is like a scheduling software that will help you schedule appointments and things like that. So we won't talk about that right now. But for House Cleaning 360, there are free and paid listings. So I recommend right now that you do go list even for free. Go list your business for free. Then like tomorrow, for example, on the House Cleaning 360 Facebook page, they're calling all house cleaners. If you're a house cleaner, list your House Cleaning 360 listing on the House Cleaning 360 Facebook page. Because what they're doing is every day they're picking a different industry that's a member of House Cleaning 360. They want to highlight you to the public, because right now there are people that are asking us, who are the house cleaners in your area? And we can't send people we don't know. So if we know that
Yeah.
you're in Atlanta, Georgia, or we know where you're in Florida, we say, go to House Cleaning 360 and go find your house cleaner there. And if nothing else, it'll take you, what, 5 minutes or something to list your business, your name, your address, your phone number, your website, whatever. But that gives you your own page on House Cleaning 360, even if it's a free listing. Okay. I don't
Yeah,
care if
and
you have
I'm-
a paid listing or a free listing, but make sure you're listed so people can find you.
And I'm just getting my LLC. I paid the 300 and some odd dollars through Sunbiz, and I came up. Did I do something wrong? Is that a
No,
lot of money?
No, not for an
Okay.
LLC. No.
Yeah, I hope I did it right, because there was all these questions. There were so many questions that kept asking, for this, and I already have a tax ID number, so I didn't need that. And there was some things that I just didn't feel like it was necessary. I just need the LLC. I just need to get the name. I know the name's not taken. So Beauty of Clean is what I chose, and I just hope that I've been really baffled about. Every name that I tried to come up with, it was already taken. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Why does everybody have to think of the same thing I did? But anyway, I did finally come up with that, and it's not taken. I had somebody else contacting me. The reason why I know, even though I haven't all the way been accepted, or how do you say it? All the way.
Right. Yeah.
Done, all the way done through the Sunbiz. Another lady was contacting me trying to get me to get my LLC through their company, and she had checked the name for me. So she said, yes, it's good. Are you ready to go on forward? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, for $600 and something they want to charge? And I did it for $333 through Sunbiz. So I thought that was a heck of a lot cheaper.
Okay, so right now you're in a really weird time crunch. And so I don't want to overwhelm you, but what I do want to do is have you stop for just a second and say, if everyone already took all the good names, how fast can we get Sunbiz registered on all the different places? So that you're like facebook.com/Sunbiz, or twitter.com/Sunbiz, or what is it, Instagram.com/ do you see what I'm saying? You want your handle on whatever it is so that you can start branding your business. So for example, if there's only one, housecleaning360.com/Sunbiz, we want it to be you, right? And so House Cleaning 360 is a worldwide production. It's all over the United States. It's all over Canada. It's all over Australia. It's all over Europe. It's all over everywhere. So if for some reason there's another Sunbiz in another country, we want to make sure you have it, right? And so it's a free listing, but go list your business right now. And they don't need any other information except we need a name, a phone number, and a way for people to get in touch with you. If they're searching for house cleaners in my area, Gloria, remind me where you are. Are you Florida?
I'm in Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
When somebody is in Florida and they're in your area and they type in house cleaning, we want to make sure that you pop up. And so even if it's a free listing, and like I said, I don't care if it's free or paid, I care that you're there. I care that people find you and that you pop up, because we can't send people there to go find you if you're not there. It's like me not having the website that was crappy. They're going to find whoever has the crappy website. And so if nothing else, even if you don't have a website, this will give you a website. This will give you a web presence. This will be a place to start building your business and your ratings and reviews and whatever. This will integrate with your Verify My Records. I mean, this is a really robust program for very, very little money. I mean, free is, free will get you started.
And I've got some people I've been with for several years, and I need to change my prices. I've got to do something here.
You need to be recognized in this group. So first, I got to jump in. Listen, everybody, let's recognize this amazing woman. Gloria cleaning for 18 years.
And not making the money I should at all.
Let's look at the positive. Let's look at the positive here. 18 years cleaning. Well, first of all, it's a darn hard job, right? I did it. My mom did it. My aunts did it. We all know.
And I'm raising grandkids too.
But here's the thing. You decide that now you're going to legitimize your business. You're going to become a real business, so to speak. Not that you weren't before, but you know what I mean, right? My wife just went back to school at 40. Okay. And that was really hard to do. And she did it for a lot of reasons, but mostly personal self-esteem, but also because we have a 4-year-old and she needs to show our daughter that you're never too old to start. Okay. So like what you're doing is amazing. It's amazing. And it doesn't matter that you're just getting your LLC. You're just getting, who cares about all that? What matters is that done is better than none and you're doing it, man. And like, you deserve so much respect, and I respect you for what you're doing. And like,
Thank you.
we're all at different stages. So good on you, man. And you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot. And look, some people in the industry who do 7 figures like me say, what are you doing in that Angela Brown group? And, it's like, listen, Angela Brown is going to make me millions of dollars because she drops a little bomb every now and then. And I learn one little piece of information and I incorporate that into my business. And it just has such an impact that goes well beyond $1,200 a year or whatever I pay in Canadian. I mean, like literally, that's why I send the check or pay the bill every month, even if I'm not here, because I owe that to her. She's
Well,
made me
thank
that.
you. Thank you. The goal of what we're trying to do is work smart, not hard. If we find quick, fast, easy ways to add an app that will replace 3 or 4 hours worth of your time, if your time is worth $35 an hour and this task is going to take you 4 hours a week, that's going to be 16 hours a month that you're going to have to spend doing a particular task. If I can find an app for you that will do it for $50 a month, I'm going to tell you about it. And you're going to go $50 a month, man, that's a lot of money. It's not when I just saved you 16 hours of your own time at $35 an hour. You see what I'm saying? All of a sudden you start thinking in terms of, oh, wait a second, how come I don't have that app already? I got to get that. And so that's what we're trying to do. I get really excited when I see how much time something will save us. And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a second. This is really cool. And if I can find something for free, like the Google Keep, which we were talking about on a couple of our other shows, the Google Keep, which will do so much and reserve so much, it'll save you so much time. I want you to know about it and I want you to use it. It'll just save you a lot of time. Anyway, Gloria, did we answer your question?
How do you raise your prices? She wanted to know though, right? So Gloria, like we just raised our prices by $11 an hour. That was scary. We don't want to lose business right now, man. We don't want to lose business right now. We're just launching after a pandemic shutdown and a rebrand. Like, listen, we need to get back to that 2 million in sales and get to 10 million. Like, we got plans. So it was scary, right? So what I
A lot
say,
of competition.
Okay, there is, right? So here's my opinion, and it's just one man's opinion, and it may not be right? So Angela's the guru, and she'll give you her thoughts, and so will everyone else. But what I would suggest is, how do you raise your price? Incrementally. So, for example, if you have an end goal in mind, and your end goal is $35 an hour for every customer, and you're going to go to $35 an hour tomorrow morning, and you're going to lose 70% of your customers. Now, listen, if you think you're losing 70, you're not. You're probably losing half of what you think, but you'll lose some. It happens, right? Usually. So maybe you might say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I'll be raising my prices. And if you feel you need to give a reason, give it. For in Canada, well, thanks to Biden, Trudeau becoming bedmates, inflation is through the damn roof in Canada. We pay 56 cents a liter. I don't know what the hell that is in gallons, but we pay 56 cents a liter in tax alone on our fuel. It's not good what's going down, right? So like, obviously, and there's a crunch of labor, so we pay well. So, we've got a reason. It's like, we're raising prices, and here's what fuels this. Here's how we're going to implement it. At the beginning of the month, your weekly 20% discount is becoming 10. That's it. Now, at the end of next month, your base rate, which is 35 in our area, that was 30 pandemic, is going to 35. And we just come up with a very simple and easy to understand incremental change, because it's no different than you. Like, you have bills you pay every month, right? Who knows what it is? You pay subscriptions for something or other. Maybe you get contacts for your eyes like me. I pay $180 for 3 months supplies, and it shows up on my doorstep every 3 months, right? Well, if the contact company all of a sudden just all of a sudden was like, hey, you want contacts? Yes, $260. I'm like, what? Like, nobody likes that, and your customers deserve to be told. So no one likes you walking in and saying, by the way, yeah, this week I'm $35 an hour. But the reality is that if you appropriately let them know, and you incrementally phase it in over 3 months or 6 months, whatever's appropriate for you, they'll acclimate to it. Now, the good news is because you're going to go on in the House Cleaning 360 and use that as a free resource and some other free resources to build your new business, right? You're going to start to get new customers. And what you're going to find is you're going to replace your old customers with new customers who are willing to pay the price you want, right? And you know what you're also going to find? Some of the existing customers are going to go, you know, I'm so glad you raised your prices. I actually felt bad only charging you that, only paying you that. Like, it's going to blow your mind. And is it going to hurt? Well, yeah, look at Satora. She's an ER nurse who makes a good salary, and now she's going to go out with no customers and probably make less money for a little while. That's
All
hard
right,
to take.
and that's important that you bring up, Mark, and I want to jump in on this really quick. As Satora starts her business and she starts her very first customer, the very first customer she's going to charge at introductory prices is going to be $35 an hour. And Gloria, every customer that you pick up from here on out for the rest of your life, the lowest you will charge is $35 an hour. Okay, that's the new price. That's the new minimum price. And so what happens is if you have, let's say that you have 5 customers right now at the $25 or $30 an hour range, that's okay. Keep them for a moment. But everybody knew that you pick up is going to be starting at $35 an hour. And don't tell them, I just raised my prices. They don't know what your prices were, so don't tell them, okay? That's just your introductory price is $35 an hour. That's the new introductory price. Now, what we're going to do is we'll put together a note that we're going to send to all of our customers. This is starting December 1st. Our annual increase will add an extra $5 per hour or whatever it is to your regular rate. It's an annual increase. And I want you to use the word annual increase because every year for the rest of forever, we're going to raise our prices just a little bit. And the annual in the industry is 3 to 5%. It's a very small amount. It's not a lot of money, but it's a little bit of money that goes up every single year. When you go to do a walkthrough at a customer's house, you're going to say, I can offer you an introductory price today, and I can lock it in until next Thursday at this rate. And what you're saying is if you say yes to me today, or from now until next Thursday, you got a couple of days to think about it, I can lock in this rate, but I can't guarantee it after next Thursday. And what I'm doing is I'm creating urgency because I want you to buy today. But what I'm saying is this, I have a regular price that goes up every single year. This is an introductory rate. It's good for 90 days. I can lock you in at this rate. We'll get your house cleaned. We'll figure out how long it takes. We'll figure out if there's anything that needs extra care and attention because we haven't worked on your house yet. We don't know. Within 90 days, we'll have a really good feel for if we need to charge you more money or if we can keep the prices at about the same. And I will be as fair as I can to you based on what I know about your house and what I know about our team who's going to be cleaning it. Is that fair? And they go, yeah, that's fair. Okay, great. Awesome. So in 90 days, we're going to have a quick revisit of the pricing to make sure that you're still on track because I can't clean your house for, if I've completely underbid myself, it wouldn't be fair to me or my team. And then we would do a sloppy job and you would be dissatisfied. So we'll revisit that in 90 days, but every single year, we're going to ask for a new walkthrough and we're going to raise the rates. And the reason we're going to have a new walkthrough is because things happen within a year. So in 1 year, what we don't know right now is maybe the elder parents moved in on us, right? Maybe next year, there's a whole new set of people living in the house. Maybe they had a baby during the year and now there's a new baby in the house and a new nursery and there's a whole bunch of new stuff. Or maybe they got 2 dogs during the year and now there's a whole bunch of new stuff, dog toys, dog hair, dog stuff that you're now cleaning up, right? So every year, you're going to do a walkthrough with a customer. But what happens on that walkthrough with a customer every single year, they know the price is going up because what you're doing is you're reassessing their home so that you can keep their prices fair at the lowest prices you're able to do that. And what that means is it might be the lowest price I'm able to offer you, but it's still 5% higher than it was the year before. But that gives you another chance to walk through every area of their house, explain your maintenance, explain your deep cleaning, and upsell them on the special projects. Because what we want to do is we don't want to go and nickel and diming our customers, charging them $35 per hour. What I want to do is I want to go in and I want to create the equivalent of a car payment for you. And with that car payment, it's going to be, I don't know, $600-800 a month, right, for your cleaning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in 4 times a year and we're going to do your deep cleaning. We're going to come in on a biweekly basis, which is 26 cleanings per year to do your biweekly cleaning. We're going to do a series of special projects, and I can include up to 10 special projects at this price. One of them is 5 large appliances on a large appliance package. We have 5 small appliances on another on another special project. That's any 5 appliances, like a toaster oven, a Keurig coffee machine, yada, yada, any 5 small appliances, right? And you go through every area of the house, and every room will trigger a different special project. That's course 14, if you haven't been through it already. What happens is, by the time you get done, you're not selling a biweekly service at $128 per cleaning. What you're selling is you're selling a package of goods. This is where you sell on value, not price. But you sell a package of goods that's the equivalent of $600 per month. And we're going to bill it every month. And what I can do right now is put it on auto pay if you're comfortable with that. And if they're not, then they can go ahead and they can pay you, but it's going to be about $600 a month. And so what happens is they start budgeting, saying it's $600 a month. Right now, I know for a fact, and it doesn't change, I know how much my car payment is every month, right? It's the same amount every month. It's the same amount. And if it sits in my garage right now during COVID, my car sat in my garage for who knows how many days I didn't drive it. But you don't call up the car company and go, hey, I didn't drive my car for, 12 days this month. Can I get a discount? You don't do that. You don't call and cancel, right? It's the same amount. So if our customers cancel on us, that's up to them. You want to cancel, you cancel, but you already paid for it. We don't charge cancellation fees, but we don't give the money back if they've already paid us in advance. Does that make sense? And then what happens is we try to double it up. So somebody says, well, I have to cancel on you next Friday. And you go like, I don't have any openings. So I'm going to put you at my next available opening to try to make that up if it comes between now and your 2-week cleaning, right? And so if you are able to do it and you can come tomorrow or whatever, and you have the opening, great, make it up. They've already paid for it. Make it up if you can. If you can't make it up, they're the one that canceled. It's not on you to have to make it up, right? We put ourselves through all these weird gyrations and cause ourselves so much stress as cleaning business owners. It doesn't have to be like that. We are professionals. If your dentist called you, if you called your dentist and you say, hey, listen, I got to cancel my appointment tomorrow. I can't come get my teeth cleaned. Okay, they're going to charge you a cancellation fee or whatever. But what they're going to say is this, we will reschedule your appointment at our earliest convenience, right? They're not going to say, well, when do you want to come? And oh, sure, let us move other customers around. They don't do that. They say, I don't have any more openings. You're going to have to wait 6 weeks and we'll book you again. Well, okay, I'm the one that screwed up. I'm the one that had to cancel the appointment. If we start treating ourselves as professionals, we start being treated like professionals. But as long as we're making all these weird accommodations and we're jumping through hoops and we're breaking our own rules and, well, since you're my friend, I'll give you a discount. Then people treat us like their friend and then they always want a discount. They undervalue us and they don't want to pay our prices. And it's because we undervalued ourselves first. And so as long as we are treating ourselves like we're a discount service and like our prices don't really matter, and oh my goodness, how am I going to raise the price? You just raise the price. You just go in and you raise the price. And if you have new customers that didn't know what your price was, don't tell them. I just got an email the other day from somebody who said, oh, come November 1st, we're raising all of our prices. Hurry and get in now while the prices are low. Why on earth would you do that? I didn't know what your prices were anyway.
Low price. Don't train people. Gloria,
I didn't. Go ahead, Mark.
Angela, I got to go get Scarlett, but I want to tell you one thing about what you said I think will help Gloria. So Gloria, Angela, man, she's a wealth of knowledge. It's hard to keep up. She's brilliant. I'm a big fanboy. But here's the deal. Look, the fact is that because Angela said, and she's right, so when a price increase is coming, okay? So we knew November 1st, that's when everyone is on the new pricing. But we started charging new people the new pricing 3 months ago, okay? And that was really useful. And the reason why it was useful is because when we had to articulate to some, now we let people know many times, but still they don't pay attention sometimes and they get their bill and they're like, well, how come it cost me this much more money? And they call in. And as a support agent is fielding that call, well, Mrs. Smith, we sent out the notifications, blah, blah, blah. We can see you opened it. We can see you clicked it, all that stuff. But here's the thing, Mrs. Smith. We've been charging this rate to all of our new customers for the last 3 months. And we booked 175 new customers in the last 3 months that are paying this rate. And that makes them feel a lot better because they don't feel like they're being shysted for, I don't know if that's a is that a racist term? I won't use that term. They don't know if they're being.
We now have to
scammed.
ask, don't we? Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a fair thing because it could, sometimes some words we use, we don't know that to a certain
Right.
person, like Romanians are struggling because the gypsies or people say, hey, I got gypped. Well, they don't know
Right.
that comes from back in the day when gypsies were treated like thieves. So like some
Right.
of these words, it doesn't, listen, I'm a conservative, but trust
I
me,
know,
sometimes it
I
doesn't
said something like that
ask.
the other day. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a term
Yeah.
we've used forever. And then I was like, I think I said a
Yeah,
bad
like,
word.
it doesn't hurt to ask, and trust me, I'm conservative, but with that said, right, or a little bit right of center. But with that said, like, so it just puts you in a position where you can say to them, now, look, I gotta go, but I want to tell you exactly what I said to my customers, exactly verbatim, okay? And I pulled it up. So with the national launch November the 1st, 2021 for all customers, we're returning to our pre-pandemic pricing with appropriate inflationary adjustments. That's it, which will increase our provider remuneration, help continue to shield us from the Canada-wide labor shortage, and thus ensure we can continue to meet your needs and meet the increasing demand for our services too. Updated pricing will be found on our website, and for the last 2 months, all one-time as needed and new regular recurring bookings have been booked at the updated pricing. So like, that's it. That's as far as we went with pricing. And you know something? We did have 2 cancellations, and these were very price sensitive people that we really were hoping to replace anyhow. So when they left, we thanked them for the business. We said, we're so sorry to see you go. Is there anything we can do? Well, you can keep the price where it is. I wish I could. It kills me to have to raise your price, Mrs. Smith. It truly does. I'm so sorry to see you go. Thank you for your business. And our door is always open. And you know something? Mrs. Smith is probably coming back and at the new price a little later, if a spot is available. And so it's kind of like jumping into the Coal Lake, Gloria. It's really hard for you after 18 years of undervaluing yourself. But like you got to jump in that lake. You got to take the plunge, and you might hurt a little bit. You might lose a couple, and that's really hard, right? So baby steps. But darn it, just do it.
I want to add to something that Mark said, and this tags into our self-worth. Unfortunately, in the house cleaning business, as a business owner, there's nobody that's coming to raise your prices. No one's coming. No one's coming to graduate you. No one's coming to say, Gloria, today you are worth $5 more per hour. No one's coming to do that. And so as a business owner, you get to do that yourself. And nobody's going to give you permission to say, Gloria, I give you permission to raise your price. So right now I'm going to give you permission. I'm going to say you raise your price. Starting today, you are starting at your base price is $35 an hour. Do not ever charge more than that. Okay, I'm giving you permission. And so what happens is now you are graduated from whatever your old pricing is. You're now into your new pricing. And as you move forward, hold your head high. And if it is uncomfortable, and it might be, if it is uncomfortable, go back through your learning library, and there's a program called Money Mindset. And I want you to go through it. It's just a short series of, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 videos. I want you to watch the videos from beginning to end. It will change the way you feel about yourself, because the world is abundant. There is so much wealth and abundance in the world. There are more billionaires than there have ever been before. There's more money than there's ever been before. There's more opportunity than there's ever been before. This is the land of milk and honey. And I say, this is the land, this is the era, this is the time when you can create your own business. And you can say, I'm worth X amount of dollars, and you can charge it and you can make it. But the reality is you have to believe that you are worthy of that. And oftentimes we say, well, I would do it for my family. I would do it for my friends. I would do it for someone else. I can't do it for myself. And we don't give ourselves the permission to be worthy to receive abundant wealth. So go back through that course, because it's really short, but it will start changing the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you have to ask for money. Because when you smile and a customer says, oh, that's just too much money, you smile and you say, I know, right? I wish it was free, and it's not. Everything that we do costs money, and this is how much I have to charge. And you will charge it confidently. And when you start charging it confidently and you start seeing yourself worthy of whatever your base price is per hour, every decision you make for the rest of forever is going to be worth that money per hour and above. And the reason I say that is because I can give you more money, but I cannot give you more time. Okay. So if you only have 168 hours in a week, how much is every hour worth to you? Okay. Because if you spend that hour today, it's like spending money, it's gone. And so if you're at a customer's house and they only gave you $25 for that hour, all of a sudden somewhere, whatever the nasty word is that we can't use, somewhere that happened in your life. So we need to make sure that you are getting your money's worth. Stephanie, you have a question?
Yes. Well, I wanted to say when I started like 6 months ago, and when I first started, I tried pricing hourly, and it scarred me. So I'm by the job now.
Okay,
And
good.
what happened, just the reaction of when it was $25 an hour, I was like, they were like, $25 an hour? Like, it was so uncomfortable, They were, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, basically in Florida. But anyway, I went to buy the job, and like today I worked an hour and made 140. That's phenomenal. Because I said, this house is 140. No matter how long I take, it's 140. And it's bi-weekly, and I love her, like she's a great client. I've had her for a little bit now, and she has no problems with it. But if I was to tell her, oh, it's 40 an hour, it's like the sticker shock of hearing the hourly price. And also, it's like, so if I take 2 hours or an hour cleaning your house, what am I only supposed to charge you? $40 or $50? So I can't understand the concept of actually charging hourly. You know what I mean?
So
In my head,
yeah, and that's a really good point, because what happens when you start creating value and you start selling by value and you sell a package that's then broken down into smaller segments. It's like when you go to get your hair done, for example, the lady says, oh, that's $90 for a haircut and color. If she were to break that down by the hour, you would think like, oh my goodness, I was only here for 35 minutes. That's a lot of money, right? And you start thinking in terms of that's a lot of money. But at some point, what are we willing to pay for? People are willing to pay for whatever they want. There are people who buy a lot of stuff that I'm like, I would never pay that money for that, right? But just because I wouldn't doesn't mean it's not worth that. And so when you go and you get a service provided for you, it's worth whatever the going rate is. And if the customer's not willing to pay it, they're not, and then you go find a different customer. But it is important that you start wrapping your head around the concept of, I'm running a business. This is how much it costs to run a business. And if you go through the very first course, is Cleaning Right for You, there's a whole breakdown on all the different expenses we have in business. And you have to start saying, wait a second, I need to start accounting for every one of these expenses in my business. And as you get started and you start figuring out how much it costs to run a business, all of a sudden it changes your perspective of what it actually costs to run a business. And therefore you won't say, well, I'll do it for you for just, $65 because, I'm your friend. You can't do that when you are aware of how much it costs for gas and fuel and insurance and inspections and registration. And that's just the vehicle, right? We haven't even talked about commute time and cleaning chemicals and all that stuff. When you start figuring it all out, what happens is you start saying,
basis though, Angela. Like that's true what you're saying, right? But there's a whole arm of economics, and I went to business school and studied economics, right? And so that says supply and demand affects prices. So like you can price as a commodity, right? That's hourly. And when you commoditize yourself, well, then it's very easy for a certain segment of America to simply compare your price hourly to another price and say that's cheaper, and I perceive them as being the same. So obviously, if we can go to 2 identical McDonald's that are next door to each other and everything is identical, but this one is 55% cheaper, everyone will go to this if they're identical, right? So now by coming up with the flat rate pricing, which Angela proposes in her system, and I think it's brilliant, especially if you're solo, and she proposes moving to that over time, right? She has a whole plan for it. What you've done is that you've moved to what's called value-based pricing, where people don't commoditize you quite the same, right? Because it's very difficult for them to compare value because they perceive it as, I paid 140 and I got a clean house and Stephanie did it and I'm happy. And I don't care how long Stephanie was here. And that's a smart move. And now if you're going to be, but that's not to say that you can't be commoditized in hourly and do it very well. I know because I've done it. But you also have to be able to, one, you have to be able to show your value, and that's can be very difficult to do, because you have to be able to say, hey, we're this amount per hour, and people are like, oh, well, they're that amount per hour. Well, why should I choose you? And you have to be able to make sure that you get those value points out fast, and it's very difficult. So there's pros and cons to each, but as a solo, I purport definitely to do that. But final point, and I got to go, is that here's what I challenge everyone in this group to do, including you, Angela, privately, because you're not going to tell me how much you're bringing in. But what I will say is this. Eloisa, she's got a business with people who work with her team, and I know Beta does, right? And Mary's starting out solo right now, Stephanie's solo, whatever. Satora's just starting. So like we're all at different levels, right? Look at how much money you made last year, or how much money you're going to make this year. Revenue. Don't worry about expenses, right? Just revenue. And then divide it by 52 weeks and divide it by 40 hours. Yes, we can argue the semantics over whether those numbers matter. I don't care about that silliness. Just do that. Now, that's how much you're worth per hour in your own mind. So for me, it's $833. So that means for every single hour I spend doing something, it's worth $833, okay? So because my business generates that, so that's what I'm worth right now today, right? And then you can say, well, Stephanie, you want to do 70,000 in revenue next year. Okay, now divide that 52 by 40 and say, okay, so I'm going to be worth 132 an hour or 87 an hour. And then you start making decisions differently in your life on how you spend your time. Because a lot of people, and let me tell you something, the first time a news agency walked into my office, I thought I'd made it. Well, let me show you, you can advertise on the radio and in the newspaper. And I thought, Dad, the newspaper people want me to advertise with them. I made it, man. Right. And now it's like, yeah, do you have an appointment? Right. But my point being is that, so like you start to strategically choose how you spend your time. It wasn't random. I'm here today. I chose that. This is worth $833 to me. I will make that plus more. Right. And so changing your mindset on money and value is important. And it's like Rich Dad, Poor Dad book, right? Mm-hmm. It's how you view money, and you've been trained to see yourself as a commodity. And now that you're a business owner, even if you're solo, you're no longer a commodity. You are a value provider. And you got to learn how to get people to not commoditize you. Right. And it's a whole thing. So I highly recommend, I think it's chapter 14 or course 14, Angela. What courses do you have on money mindset again? Is it 14?
That is not that's a special bonus course. If you open up your learning library, yeah, it will just pop up like at the very front.
So take that course and do it, Stephanie and everyone else, and Gloria especially. Just read it. And it's not going to happen overnight, because this has been beat into you your whole life for whatever reason. It could be just the way you grew up, right? Like I can't throw out food, man. When my wife throws out 1 tablespoon of food, I want to go crazy. and we have lots of food, because I grew up in a household where my dad was very poor, very poor, and so was my mom. So food did not get wasted, even when we were millionaires.
So
right?
Mark, thank you so much for joining us. I hate to cut you off, and we are running really short on time.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for all of your participation today.
That's one question.
See you in a month.
Thank you.
All righty.
Bye.
Bida, you have a question. Let's jump in with you.
Thank you. Hi, Angela.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you today.
Good to see you too. I'm so happy so I can have time for enjoy this group today. Yeah, I have a bunch of questions, but I am enjoying do it by the Facebook groups, but I'm very interested in this. I am planning probably the next year, start with one day having one of the members of the team driving to another area, because for me, in the moment, I am the only driver now for all the works. So it's wondering if I can know how do you recommend me the best way to handle this situation? It's good to do it in the employee car, in the company car, and either of those scenarios, how much the employee or the people who is driving is has to pay, because for me, I was thinking in my mind, the employee who is driving is going to get more money each day, but I don't know how handle this. That's why for me, it's so important your advice, Angela. Thank you.
You're welcome. So it depends on how your business is set up. We always follow the government rules and regulations as far as per mileage. So you're going to pay a fee per mileage. And that's really going to depend on who's driving their car. So if you have a company car, then we don't pay for mileage because they're driving the company car, and all of those are going to be your expenses. So if you have a company car that you're letting people drive, you're going to be paying for the payment on that car. You'll be paying for the insurance on that car. You'll be paying for the fuel on that car. And all you're paying is you will be paying them for the time that they are driving. So if it takes them 10 minutes to get to a house, you include that 10 minutes in their pay. And so you don't pay them any extra mileage or whatever if they're driving a company car. If they're driving their own car, then they're paying for their own vehicle and their own expense and all that stuff. You can determine how much you're going to pay if you're going to pay mileage, and that will be based on where you live, and the government rules for where you live will determine how much that mileage is. And I think it's somewhere in the range of 50 cents, 57 cents, or 60 cents. Do you know what that is, Eloisa, where you are? For mileage?
I'm sorry. No, I don't know how much is it.
I don't think it's a lot. I mean, it's going to be less than a.
I was looking up at somebody else's website and I think it was in Washington area, and their cleaning website was, they were looking for cleaners, and I think the lady was paying like 0.55 cents per mile if they drive their own car.
So my recommendation, if you ask me specifically, and I believe it's in course, it might be course 6, choose your own territory. I really strongly discourage you from traveling in this business. I really strongly discourage it for this reason. We have house cleaners all the time that will charge, they'll take a job that's an hour away. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. If I have a job that's an hour away, that's an hour of my drive time, plus maintenance on the car, plus wear and tear on the car, plus tires, plus gas, plus fuel, plus whatever, to get to that 1 hour job. So during that 1 hour, what happens? I just lost an hour of billable time. That's 1 hour out and 1 hour back. So that's only 2 hours of time that I wasted to get to the job, right? We might have made a whole lot of money on the job. But what happens is if we do that customer's job, stay with me for a second on this. If you do that customer's job one time every 2 weeks, that's 26 times that we drove out to their house, 1 hour one way, 1 hour coming back. Okay. What happens is 26 times 2 hours, we're talking about 52 hours per year that we can't bill for. A 40-hour work week. We just lost an entire 40-hour work week driving to that one customer's house, just going one way and coming back, right? That's not billable time. So I don't recommend that you travel at all, ever, if you have to in this business. If you can, work in your same neighborhood and the neighborhood on both sides of you. And when you hire people in the areas where you work. So if you clean a neighborhood called Weddington Trace, I'm just making up the name of this neighborhood, hire people to clean Weddington Trace who live in Weddington Trace. And the reason being is they live in the neighborhood that they work in. Hey, I need you to come to work today. And they're like, well, something happened, I'm going to be late. Well, you're going to be late, but you're cleaning 3 doors down, right? So they're going to be able to get there a whole lot quicker. If they're driving an hour away to get to the job, what's going to happen? They're going to get stuck in traffic. They're going to get stuck behind a school bus. They're going to get stuck in an accident. They're going to get stuck behind a train. They're going to have a flat tire. They're going to have car problems. They're not going to make it to the jobs. But if you have people, go ahead, Eloisa.
That example that you gave, 2 hours for a year, it is $1,820 that you will lose. Or that
there you go.
Don't make.
There you go. Thank you for that. When you start thinking in terms of my drive time, even if it's only 15 minutes, start doing the math. You got 4 customers at 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. Do the math on the drive time and look at how much time you lose by not scheduling in a really tight area. And I know
really paying your workers, like me, I have workers.
Uh-huh.
So every 30 minutes that they are driving, I'm paying them. So actually, I've been absent. I've been very absent. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Restructuring everything. Thank you, Angela. And one of our realizations is we work with subcontractors, and with subcontractors, we're working in teams of 2, but we are about to work with employees, and we're going to work in teams of 1, just because of that, the driving time. Yeah, and it's going to save us a huge amount of money. Just
Well, here's
because my subcontractors drive about 2 hours a day.
Wow.
And if and these are teams of 2, but I don't pay them for that time, but I pay them well for their working hours. And we try to give them houses that are together. But
Yeah, and
but we're really changing our minds in exactly what you're saying. How do I stay in this neighborhood? And the next one and the next one, but not traveling all over. We are in Austin, not traveling or around all the cities. No.
And thank you for bringing that up. The answer to that question is there are 74.5 million houses just in America, And so they all have to be clean, whether somebody cleans them themselves or whether they hire the service out. And so instead of saying, well, I got a customer that's, 25 minutes down the road. Well, there are customers right here in this area. They just may not know about you yet. Every single time you go to clean a house, leave flyers on the doors of each of the houses on each side and the 2 houses across the street, directly across the street and right next to them. Every single time you clean. We want these people to know that we are working in this neighborhood on this day. And so what happens is we've done this so many times, I can't tell you. We'll clean this house right here. We'll park our car on the street. We clean this house. When we're done with that house, we go across the street. We clean the house across the street. And then we go next door and we clean that house. We can do 3 houses in the same day. And we left our car in the exact same spot. We went out to our car between each house. We dropped off our cleaning caddy, picked up a new cleaning caddy, dropped off whatever equipment, like back in the old days when we had individual mops, those ring mops, we would take one to each house and we had spare mops in the car, drop off one mop, grab the next mop and go to the next house. And so what happened is we literally parked in one spot and worked that area, because that way you have no commute time. You have no drive time. You have 5 or 10 minutes between each house where you sit there and you grab a smoothie, you grab a little bowl of grapes, you up your energy, you run through your checklist, you make sure everything's ready to go for the next house. You remember the dog's name, the people that live in that house, boom, you're already at their house, you go inside. And
I have done that, Angela, but I would like to share with you my experience of traveling all over the place, because we still do it. We have clients that are really far away. And when you have a problem and I have to go and solve that problem, or somebody has to go and fix it, it's a nightmare. Now you're really wasting money. Like you're throwing money away. So it is like, if you have the possibility to stop it, just don't do it.
Well, and it's the reason
you will have your clients, as Angela said, okay, you have this spot and we go everywhere because we really think in my previous mind, not my now mind, but in my previous mind, it was oh no, I have to get work for this team. I have a team with no work. Okay, send them there. No, not anymore. Because you make the if you have the clarity, that this is where I work, then these are the clients that you're attractive. All your marketing is in this area. We begin to make smart decisions that will keep you where you are, instead of scattered decisions that will send you here and there and there. And then when it is not, let's say you have the ability to send the people now. It is when you have a problem, that's the problem. When you have to solve something. Now send them back again because they didn't do something right. And the more you charge a client, because sometimes we tell them, yes, we will go, but we will charge an extra fee. Now they are paying an extra fee and they feel entitled to more. So in my own experience, I will say this also to Gloria. I've been in business for 18 years and I feel like I'm just starting. it is like every day, I really feel like I'm just recreating my business from
Me too.
scratch. No, so it is, I won't do that again. And
Oh.
I will go to a smaller area, and I'm going to advertise in a smaller area so that I can really prosper instead of being all over the place.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things about what Eloisa just said is when you start focusing on a particular area and you open up your schedule, like this will become important for Satora when she's just brand new to the business and she's got like a wide open schedule. What you do is you say, I only have Monday available, and you work on one neighborhood on Monday. You only do that one neighborhood on Monday. And that's because you're going to be booking other houses in on Monday. And if you have to go to the neighborhood next door, do that on a completely separate day. Even if it's only 2 miles away. To us, 2 miles is a really long way away because that's 2 miles. I got to get in the car and I got to drive and I could have a flat tire on the way. And so 2 miles, I don't want to do that on the same day. I want to do that on a different day when I'm only working in that neighborhood on that day. And you start really, protecting your areas, because what happens if something happens, like Eloisa says, and you have to go back to the customer's house. Wait a second, I'm going back to a customer's house, but they're across the street. That is way different than let me drive 45 minutes back to your house because we screwed something up. It's very different. And then what happens is if you have to make concessions for whatever, you say, oh, well, we're already in your neighborhood. Therefore, we can drop by after we're done with this house this afternoon. We'll correct that and make that right for you. And you spend an extra 10 minutes because your car was already parked in front of their house. You can fix that now without having to go all the way back. In the event that you're working your area and you have a cancellation, well, you're already at your house. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't drive for 45 minutes to find out you've been canceled on. You're already in your neighborhood. And you say, well, I guess I'll do social media then because they canceled on me at the last minute. And because you hired people that live in the area that you're cleaning, you don't have to pay them for drive time back and forth. And now I got to pay you for this time because you showed up and all this stuff. You just say the house canceled. Stay at home, the house canceled. So now we don't have to pay them anything because they didn't show up to work. You know what I mean? So it works in a lot of different benefits when you don't have the commute time and the travel, and then the things that can go wrong, the accidents, the commute time, the stuck in traffic, all this other stuff. It's crazy. Willow, you had a question.
Then the marketing. I'm just learning this, okay? Because I have been all over the place.
Yeah.
But I'm learning. If I am going to market in just this neighborhood, I can put all my effort, all my money, everything on this neighborhood. People will notice me much more than the way that they notice me all over the place.
Well, and there's something powerful to say. We are the premier house cleaning service in Weddington Trace. We serve the Weddington Trace neighbors. And then the Weddington Trace neighbors have their own Facebook page or whatever. And they go, oh, Angela's company does the Weddington Trace neighbors. They're the premier house cleaner in this neighborhood. And why do they say that? Because we said it. We told them, we gave them what to say. And then they tell their friends, right? And then when they're talking to their friends, they go to these events, they go to the pool, they play tennis in the neighborhood. They're meeting the kids at the bus stop. Well, Angela's the premier company in the Weddington Trace neighborhood. And they repeat exactly what you say. She works by referral only. Well, how do I get a referral? And they're like, well, I might be able to get you in. Let me give you her checklist, right? It is excellent marketing when you specialize really small in a very small area. Well, I live next door in Weddington Chase. Do you think she'd come this far? And then when they ask you, you do like this, make a grimace on your face, like that. So far, we might be able to fit you in. The answer is yes, absolutely. We can go one neighborhood next door, right? But you train your customers, and then they say, "Do you think she'd come next door to Weddington Trace?" And then you go, "They will do." I don't know if I can. I don't know if she travels that far, but let's see if she can, right? And they will give you a recommendation, and you make it work. I didn't mean to interrupt. Willow, you had a question.
So she already know.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I don't know, maybe they are paying too much utility.
I'm getting some feedback too. I'm muting people here just so that I can try to
shower, eat, right?
Go ahead, Willow.
But you just say that but they have dishes.
I was just wondering, like, what size cities are people in that are doing this? I'm in a not rural but small city.
Just don't worry, just call Maryland.
Sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm in a smaller city, and like I'm in Bismarck, Mandan, North Dakota, so we're pretty small. Like we have less people in our entire state than what some cities have in this, inner city limits. So I mean, I've tried to do that, tried to advertise in specific neighborhoods, but it's just so, and everything is so spread out here because we don't have any mountains or any trees, and so people just put houses up with lots of spaces in between. So I'm having a really hard time getting stuff concentrated in areas. So I'm wondering, is this like people that are doing this, is this like Chicago and Tampa and things like that? Or are there people doing this in like moderate, like 60,000 or 60,000 people type cities?
So we've seen it in all different types of cities. We've seen it in apartment complexes where an entire business will be run in one apartment complex. And on Wednesday you go and you do, the third, fourth, and fifth floor. And on Friday, you do the first and second floor or whatever, and they run their entire business in an apartment complex. We've seen it in cities where they gravitate to a particular area. And when you have it spread out, what you might do is you might tell all of your customers, in order to keep your prices low, we're working in this area. Which of your neighbors do you know that you could recommend? And you might have to drive a little bit further, or you might decide that you're going to drive to a hub. I'm not a fan of commuting at all. But there are people that live out, in a little town where there are 300 people. Okay, in that town, I don't know, maybe you're not going to get a lot of business, maybe you will. What we do know is that there are 300 homes, and all of those homes have to be cleaned. So I would start asking for referrals in that area, like, hey, we cleaned this area first. Who do you have? And then book out 2 days for that area. And if you have to commute the other 3 days, drive there first thing in the morning. And then make sure that if you have a gym membership, that your gym membership is in that area where you live. And I say that because I did that when I switched and I moved businesses. I lived way out in the boonies, but all of my clients were still in Charlotte. And so I got a gym membership where I would show up first thing in the morning and I would work out first thing in the morning. I'd take my shower, I'd get in my clothes for the day. And if I ever had to go back between jobs, or I had like I was going to do a walkthroughs or something, I would run back to the gym and I would freshen up because it was, on the same street or it was nearby. And then that was kind of my hub where I had a locker and stuff like that for clothes and deodorant, and I could freshen up my clothes and whatever, but I worked in that hub. And then I brought my lunch with me every single day. And first thing in the morning, I would drive out there before traffic. And I did all of my workout and everything so that I was avoiding traffic before then. And then at the end of the day, I would come back. And so I only commuted one way out during the day, and I was there all during the day for my cleaning and my workout and whatever. But if I had to go bid jobs or whatever, I could freshen up or take a shower or whatever if I had to, and then go do that. And so then you commute back if you have to, but that's not an ideal situation. And I know, especially with 4 kids, that would, almost be unlikely to be able to leave and go somewhere and be gone for the entire day and then come back. It's every situation is a little bit different, but that is the goal. That is the goal if you can make that work.
That's super helpful. I have most of my clients in a specific area, which unfortunately, like probably 50% of my business is in this area, but it's a more like $600,000 to $700,000 house area, and I live in low income housing because I'm a single mom with 4 kids, and there's like my neighborhood is not affluent enough to pay my prices enough to fill my schedule. So I'm in one area for all of 1 week and half of the next week. So I'm really only commuting to different areas, but there's still like, 2-3 miles between each place because it's just, North Dakota is just so spread out.
Right. 2 or 3 miles is really different from a half hour between each house. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's not,
definitely.
that's not
like that. Like here,
Yeah.
Texas is just like that.
Yeah, that's
But
not
it's safe.
undoable.
Mhm.
I just don't want you traveling a half hour between each house. That's not good business. Beta, you had another question. Let's wrap up with your question. That will be our last question.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I remember one time, but I can't remember what is the software or way. Now I'm starting to have a problem for remind all the garage codes.
Oh,
So I have in my mind all of them, the garage codes. But I remember you mentioned in some point there is an app or something like that. You can put all the codes together for remind. Can you remember me? What
Yes.
software is that?
So that software is called Keeper Security. If you go to keepersecurity.com, this is one of my favorite pieces of software that I've ever used. And the reason I love it is because you can search by any field. And so you can add in a web address. And once you add in a web address, it's automatically linked. So if you click on that web address, boom, you're at that website. And so, for example, I use the Keeper Security for every employee and every independent contractor that I have. Like I hired a new independent contractor on Monday of this week. And what happened was I set her up a Keeper file, and it has everything I need her to know inside that Keeper file. All she has to do is search by 1 or 2 words. So if she's searching for a client, a particular client or a particular type of client, then she searches by that 1 word, boom, all the information pops up. Does she need an alarm code? Boom, it's in that, and it's all password protected. She needs 1 password. All the information she needs to access whatever the websites she needs to access, whatever the software is, the login information, if it's an alarm passcode, it doesn't matter what information she needs. It's all in that password protected vault. And what's cool about it is I set it up under my account. Now, when you set it up as an employee, I bought a big package that includes different employees, different team members. And so it's like 10 team members in a package, and you can just add on as many packages as you want. So like if one independent contractor leaves, I just have an empty spot. It's the same price every month or the same price per year. And then when I hire a new independent contractor, I set them up with a new account. But the cool part about it is this: they have access to all the information they need for your business with that 1 password. And then if you ever fire them or they ever decide they're not going to work with you anymore, you change their password and it locks them out of all the software that you have, right? It locks them out of the alarm codes and all that stuff. You can individually change all that stuff, but it's easier just to change their password and they no longer work for you or whatever. And so I love that software for this reason. Within 1 password, they can access their information that they need from any smartphone, any tablet, any computer, anywhere, anytime, any place. They log in with their password and they have accessibility to whatever it is you want them to have. So if you're using a piece of software like Google Keep, for example, or you're using a piece of software like House Call Pro or House Cleaning 360 or whatever it is, they can have accessibility to all that stuff through that 1 password. And then should they ever decide to leave the company, boom, you change their password and they're locked out. Yes, I love it. It saves so much time.
And you control,
Thank you so much.
You can control whatever they can access.
Yeah, so for example, like this week, and this is a weird example because the independent contractor I hired this week was not a house cleaner. She's a media liaison. And so what I signed her up is I need her to make some announcements. And so there's a piece of graphic software that we use. It's like a business Canva software. So she has a login to the business Canva software. There's some team software that we use for our business. So she has a login to the team software. She has a special media@savvycleaner.com email account that has a password that sets her up on Outlook. So she has accessibility to that. There are probably 15 things that like she has our access to Newswire, for example, and the Associated Press and whatever. So all that contact information, it is all login information to their websites with a login password. And so she has all that information with one password. Now, if for some reason we decide that she's not a good fit for our business, then we say, okay, we're done. Thanks very much. Have a great day, great life. And as she leaves, we just change the password. Everything still stays intact, but she can't access it at all because her 1 password let her into the vault, if you will. And the vault only gives her information that she needs. She doesn't have any information to anybody else's stuff, only the stuff she needs. We only give her in her vault the stuff that she needs. It's like dishing out food on somebody's plate. You only give them what they're going to eat. You don't give them the whole buffet. You only give them what they're going to eat, what she needs. So every independent contractor has a different set of stuff in their vault, and they don't have access to anyone else's vault. But what's really cool is it's all password protected. So if somebody logs in, I know exactly, Vita, it was you that logged into this account. I know it was you, right? I can see when you logged in and it's timestamped. It's very easy to do. So if something malfunctions or if a file goes missing, you know exactly who's in it. So I love it for that fact.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just have one question.
Okay, one more question.
Pricing.
Yes,
About
go ahead.
pricing. So you're saying that people are charging or should charge $35 when they are working individually.
Yes.
Well, we as a company are charging that for teams of two. 35
Per person, per person.
And we are
Okay.
going to 40 per person, but
Okay.
it still seems to be very low for the prices, for the increase in payment that we went through this year. So is there, do you have information about how can I know which will be the right price to charge?
So if you have a team of 2 people and you're just starting out in the business, now you've been in the business for 18 years. So you have a lot of stuff figured out as far as how long it's going to take you, your pricing, your methods, your process, your chemicals.
Everything.
You have all that stuff figured out. And so if you're just starting in the business and you're sending out 2 people, you're going to start out at $70 per hour, which is 2 people, $70 just starting out. So if you've been in the business, you might be charging $75 per hour per person, and it might be $150 per hour for those 2 people, right? So you might have doubled your prices because you have a different perspective. You're selling on value, not price, and you have a different series of packages that you're selling. But what happens is every time you come to a customer's house, there's a value, whatever that value is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to break up that value based on the person that you have. So like at Savvy Cleaner, we pay our people per house. So if I have 2 people and they're going to clean a house, they're going to get paid on that house. Let's say, just for sake of argument, that house is $300. I'm making this up, but let me grab my phone here so that we do this accurately.
Okay.
The house is $300. Okay, that's what we're going to charge the customer for this house. I have 2 people that are going out to do that house. I'm going to minus off the top. I'm going to minus 60% off the top. Okay, that's what goes back to Savvy Cleaner to my business. That's $120 left that gets split up between those 2 people. So if I split $120 into 2 people, each of those people are going to make $60 for that house. Okay. So I sent 2 people out to a house. They're each going to make $60. It's based on the house. It's not based on the hour. And it's not based on if I have callbacks and I got to pay somebody to go back. When the house is done and the customer says, we approve, here's the money, there are no callbacks, then they get the $60. And they don't get it right then. It happens on payday. But what happens is if they have to go back because they didn't do a good job the first time, that's still part of their $60 that they make on that house.
They will have to go back.
So what happens is we look at this, and because each house is worth $60 and I've got 2 people on this house, how long did this house take you? So if it takes them, by this math, if it takes them 3 hours to clean this house, 2 people at 3 hours, that's 6 man hours, they each made $20 per hour. If it takes them 2.5 hours, so we divide 60 divided by 2.5, they each made $24 per hour. And if it takes them 2 hours, they each made $30 per hour. Does that make sense?
This makes them super efficient.
It makes them super efficient, but it makes them accurate. Because if I can clean the house in 2 hours, I made $30 per hour for this house. But if I'm sloppy and I screw up and I have to go back and clean it up, I don't make any more money. It's still part of my same money. So what happens is your teams start to say, wait a second, if I work faster, if I'm quicker, if I'm more efficient, the 2 of us, if we really knock it out, we can probably add in an extra house. And if they're getting paid by the house, they're not going to go, I'm getting paid by the hour. Why should I hurry? And they stretch out the hours. What happens is they're like, if we really work together and we double check each other's work and we inspect each other's work, we're not going to let anything fall through the cracks. And so what happens, we don't have any callbacks. And with no callbacks, we can fit in an extra house. And instead of making $60 for 2 houses today, we can add in a 3rd house. We can make $60 for 3 houses today. And so all of a sudden they're working as a team and they're working together, and it completely changes the dynamic of having team shifts. And if it's an individual that's cleaning that house and they clean that house and you have it factored out of that price, they might make $180 for that house. So all of a sudden, and maybe the price is not the same. Maybe it's, I don't know, $160 or $140, whatever the price is. You're going to give them about 40% of the price of the house is going to be for payroll. It's about 35 to 40%. okay, just across the board. That's going to be your payroll. And so what you have to factor in when you figure out your costs is, do I want to send one person or do I want to send two people on a job? But you have to bill it in a way that it's not based on the hour. Because if I'm paying you $15 or $20 an hour, oh my goodness, that house could take 6 hours. It could take 8 hours. And there's no incentive whatsoever for them to hurry or be accurate. Or, yeah, if I slop up, they're just going to send somebody out and clean it. You know, they'll come back and re-clean it. I don't care. And that's the attitude. So you want to
Angela,
build,
and
you want to,
when you do that, you still have to pay the taxes on it, or are you estimating that taxes are on that 40%? So is
So-
the 40% top?
so the way that we do it in our business is we have 10%, we take 10% off every job, and that is part of our payroll expense. And so what we do is we take the 10% out of that $60. And so what we're doing is we're holding it in a fund that we pay back to our employees, but it's based on performance. We call it pay for performance. So at the end of the month, if for any reason we had no callbacks, we're going to split this money up and you guys make this extra money. So you get paid your regular per house fee, and then you get paid more money if there were no callbacks and no breakages. But if I got to pay a customer because we screwed something up, we scratched their glass surface top with a pumice stone or something, and I have to replace that, that comes out of that 10% fee. And so all of a sudden people start wanting to learn how to clean and clean properly so that we're not damaging equipment. If the company has to out of pocket money to pay for broken items, things that we were just sloppy, we broke lamps, we broke candlesticks, we broke picture frames, all that comes out of that 10%. But at the end of the month, if there's no breakage, if we didn't have to go back and clean somebody's house again, and in the event, there are times you're going to have to pay somebody to go back, but it's all based on the house. So you don't want to have to ever do that, right? If you have it set up properly, you don't have to do that. But in the event that you do and something malfunctioned and it's going to be something weird, like let's say that somebody cleaned a house, and I'm making this up. Well, let's say that they used a carpet extractor and they put too much water on the floor and the carpet went moldy and the carpet we had to hire a professional team to go in and clean it. It's not a breakage, but we had to pay somebody to go over and fix a problem that we ourselves created. Okay. So it's going to be something like that just completely malfunctioned. That comes out of the 10%. And so you're going to pay all of your taxes and everything above and beyond that. That's all separate. So whatever your payroll is, you got to match it with whatever the rate is. And I don't know what it is, but it's expensive, but you don't have that rate if you have independent contractors. And if you're doing independent contractors, the scales flip. Instead of paying the 60% to your business and the 40% to the employee, you're going to pay 60% to the independent contractor and the 40% comes back to your business. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. But we do,
Thank
you do have
Thank you
to,
so much.
you're welcome. You do have to budget in for breakages and overage charges and miscellaneous weird expenses that you didn't see coming. And that comes out 10% right off the top. And we love to keep that in reserve because we love to give it back if it's available. And if it's not available, I will share this with you. This is where funny cleaning t-shirts comes in. If it's not available and we can't give the money back, maybe we could give them a free t-shirt. Maybe we can give them a free tote or a handbag or a hat or something cool that they will use that is a good conversation starter. And all of our funny cleaning shirts, they're G-rated, they're family friendly. But when you're wearing them in a supermarket and you're inside the area where you live and someone goes, haha, oh, you clean? Oh, yes, we clean. And by the way, we're running a special right now. And they have the opportunity to talk about their business just because they're wearing a funny, cool shirt. So the shirt is like $20 or something. And it's not, we didn't get to give them $100 bonus, but we gave them a free t-shirt. I like to give them something anyway, just as a bonus. So.
And also they many times they really like it. No, it is more appreciated than the money itself.
The money is good, but everybody, and this will be our last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. Everybody is motivated by different things. We have people on our teams that are more motivated by a half a day off, or that they got to go home early, or that they got the whole day off. There are other people that are motivated by the money and they just want the money. There are people that are more motivated by the recognition. I want my face inside the company newsletter. I want to be recognized. You know what I mean? Everybody is different. And so you have to find out what the hot buttons are of every single person. And I always ask that on an interview when I'm hiring someone. I say, there's something that made you pick up the phone and call me and answer this ad. What is it? Why are you here? And then they always tell me. And then I keep asking and ask them why 7 times. And I find that by the time I ask them why 7 times, they'll tell me the real reason why they're here. Well, why is that? Well, because I want to help other people. But why is that? Because I want to be recognized, because I want to feel like I'm making a difference. And why is that? Well, it's because my whole life I was one of 19 kids or whatever. They tell you the reasons why. I never felt like I was recognized. And then you say, why is that? Well, it's because my family was too busy to actually pay attention to me. And you find out after you've whittled it down 7 times, what they really wanted was the recognition. And so while they said they started out, I want the money, they'll whittle it down to the real reason why I'm here is I want to feel like I'm making a difference. I want to be recognized for that. And so then everything that you do, every motivation that you give them, every reason why when you put them up on a job, I want to send my best person in. This is the best person that I have that's going to make the most difference inside your home. And you send that person in because that motivates them based on their personal needs. Does that make sense? And the people that are really all about the money, I really just want the money. I've got really big bills to pay and I'm super in debt. Then you want to make sure that that's the person that gets the money. And I mean, they all get money and they all get recognition and all those things. But you really want to cater every single thing that you do to the specific needs of that employee. And if you can make them feel like they are a part of the company and that they're recognized or they're making the money or whatever those things are that are important to them, they'll stay with you forever. And we tell people in our company, we are not holding you hostage. You're working here because you want to be here. And the minute that you no longer want to be here, that's the day that you go. And we want you to go with glee. Leave and go find your happiness. We just had a guy at Savvy Cleaner and he didn't officially leave. He cut back on his projects because he took another job somewhere else and he didn't want to leave our company culture. So he still works for us part-time. But he said, I'm making way more money here. And we said, we have to let you go. We are, boohoo, we're crying our eyes out. We have to let you go live your dreams. And, he still comes to all of our parties and he wants to be part of our company culture and he still works for us part-time. But we had to let him go. When it's time, it's time. And that's a natural evolution of the business. When a kid grows up, they don't live with you forever. They grow up, they go to school, they move away, they get married, they move on. And that's the natural progression. The progression is not to hang on to them for dear life forever. And it should not be with our employees either. Every employee that I ever hired, there is a day I know they will leave. And I am so sad when it happens, but I want to give them the best while they work with me. And I want them to give the best of themselves when they work with me. And I want it to be the best experience we've ever had. And when they leave, I want them to go, that was the best job I ever had. And when they leave, I want to say, that's the best employee I ever had. You know what I mean? And you build that by creating the company culture that makes people want to come. Like we just hired somebody new this last week. We did not run an ad. We did not run an ad. And we're in an era right now where we cannot find good help, right? Everybody's really struggling to find good help. We've hired a bunch of people in the last few weeks and we didn't run any ads at all. So our team says, well, I've got somebody that's looking for a job and they really want to come work here. And then my question is, what are their skills? What do we have that we can hire them for? And we're hiring really good, qualified people that they're overqualified. They're overqualified for the jobs and for what we're able to pay them. But they want to work for us. And I say, if we've got good help and they're coming to us, they're coming to our doorstep in an era where people can't find good help, let's hire those people. Let's find something for them to do. And so right now I feel really, really blessed and really privileged that we are able to put food on their tables. We are able to offer them jobs and they're able to help me out with stuff that we need. But we've just opened our door and it's referral only. I mean, people that are coming in right now, like my friend who really is dying to come work for your company. And we're like, let's figure out a job that honors your friend and their skill set. Let's make that happen. And that becomes, it's like we work by referral only. We really do. We really do. But you have to create that and then you have to manage that. And that's everything that you do, everything that you say, everything that you believe in as a company has to feed into that because that's what they take with them. I promise I have people that work for me right now that could be making far more money if they went somewhere else. I promise that's the case. And I scratch my head and I go, why are they still here? Right? They need to go get a better job somewhere else. And they're like, no, I'm happy here. Okay, well, we're happy that you're here. Please stay as long as you can. We want you to stay.
Thank you,
everybody. Bye-bye.
And congratulations to everybody that came for the first time. I'm so happy to see you.